If you've been injured in an accident that's not your fault and you don't have an attorney, listen up. We have legal professionals standing by to answer your questions and tell you what your case is potentially worth. Pick up the phone, call now.
If you've been in an accident that wasn't your fault, well, your favorite attorney has a message for you. Collision, calamity, catastrophe? Are you innocent, faultless, above reproach? If you want money, you need an attorney. You need a bulldog. But finding one, it's laborious, it's strenuous, it's stupefying. That's why you gotta call the number on your screen now. They'll help you connect to a legal expert. You have questions, they have answers. They know the legalese, the lingo, the jargon, and the argot. They'll even tell you how much money your case could be worth. $300,000, $2 million, $86,491, all sorts of numbers. Slip and falls, work accidents, car, truck, bus, motorcycle, motorbike, e-bike, tandem bike. These bulldogs will make sure people pay. And if you don't get paid, the attorneys don't get paid, and I don't get paid. So I compel you, I implore you, I beseech you to pick up that phone and call now to see what your case could be worth.
800-428-1369.
Non-attorney spokesperson. This is a paid advertisement for legal services by Nightline Legal. Cases assigned on a random basis to participating law firms. Attention! If you or a loved one were implanted with a barred power port device and later experienced serious complications, call right now. You may be entitled to financial compensation. The barred power port is a medical device implanted under the skin to deliver medication and other fluids intravenously. Lawsuits have been filed which allege these devices have inherent design and manufacturing flaws, making them prone to migration and breakage. Injuries associated with barred power port devices include infection, bleeding, organ perforation, blood clots, and even death. If you or a loved one were implanted with a barred power port and later experienced serious complications, you may be owed significant compensation from the manufacturer. There are time deadlines to file a claim, so don't wait. Call right now.
Call 800-817-2059.
Welcome back. Before we go, we want to take a moment to honor Dilbert, cartoonist Scott Adams, who passed away yesterday.
The American cartoonist, best known for creating the satirical comic strip Dilbert, died at the age of 68 following a battle with cancer. His work, which skewered corporate office culture and appeared in thousands of newspapers worldwide, made Dilbert a cultural touchstone.
In later years, Adams also became a popular podcaster and public commentator. Scott was also a rare entertainment industry ally of President Trump and a frequent guest right here on Newsmax. Scott Adams, well, you will be missed. We love you.
Yeah. He was also a devout Christian, and he was a good friend of President Trump. We showed those pictures there, but he...
Focus Today. Focusing on issues affecting you. Join Perry Atkinson weekdays only on the Dove TV. Good morning. You're tuned to the Dove, encouraging and informative, helping Oregon, Northern California, Idaho, and Nevada start the day with news and encouragement. This is Mornings on the Dove.
And good morning to you. Welcome to Mornings on the Dove. You think it's foggy in Jerry's brain? You ought to be outside.
It makes me look clear as a bright sunny day. Yes. Oh, it's terrible.
It is really tough out there.
Be careful.
Do you notice when you come to work and you're in your routine and how many other people are in their routine and you usually pass the same cars at the same place at the same time?
That is so true.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So there's about 3 other vehicles that I passed coming in.
Okay.
And give or take a couple of minutes, okay?
Yeah.
And they were all 3 just crawling this morning.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So be careful out there. It is icy and foggy. So we'll keep you posted on it. Good morning, Bud.
Good morning.
I hope that your temperature and dew point aren't too close together.
yeah, I'm not quite sure about it, but I saw those same folks on the road as well, and it is really nasty and slick. So, I just kind of got in line, said, okay, you guys pave the way for me.
There you go.
I'll follow in. So,
Be careful.
hey, by the way, it is National Ratification Day, recognizing, now this is a big day, recognizing the act that officially ended the American Revolution. It commemorates the ratification of the Treaty of Paris on this day in 1784 at the Maryland State House in Annapolis, Maryland, by the Confederation Congress. And after the Declaration of Independence was signed, nearly 8 years passed before the British and the Americans agreed to a ceasefire. As part of the Treaty of Paris, Great Britain recognized the United States as a sovereign entity, and it happened on this day in 1784. It's a big day.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
Also, this isn't a big day. I'm going to pass on it. It's National Dress Up Your Pet Day. But I got to tell you, I'm reading about this, and now we've done silly things like this with our pets in the past.
Yeah.
Never our you rarely see pictures of cats dressed up.
Yeah.
It's always our faithful dogs.
Yeah.
And they're sitting there going, what are you doing to me? What are you doing to me?
Hey.
But we don't do that anymore. And but this write-up on this was full of cautionary warnings about making sure your pet is safe and comfortable. Because they're saying, I can see it now, it's like, especially little kids, let's put this on Fido. Let's put this on Fido. And Fido's sitting there going, no, don't do it. Don't do it.
We had a dog. His name was Rodney. This is when I was a kid.
Rodney?
Yeah.
Oh, I love this. Yeah.
And he was a Doberman Pinscher.
Oh, I like Dobies.
And, I mean, he was beautiful. The ears were done and all that.
Oh, sure.
And so it was take your pet to school day.
Okay.
And so my mother, as clever as she was, and you know the Doberman, how they look.
Yeah.
They're very beautiful, black and brown.
Oh, gorgeous. Yes.
So somehow she put a tuxedo collar around this dog with a bow tie.
All right. Yes.
And there's the dog standing out there with a tuxedo collar and a bow tie waiting for the bus. Okay? And so my sister, we all get on the bus, and my sister takes it to school. Okay? So about an hour and a half later, the dog shows up at home.
Oh.
It got off the school bus at the school and took off and ran home.
No kidding.
Yeah.
It's a good thing it knew its way home.
Oh, well, you know.
Oh, man.
We lived in the country. Everybody knew where everybody was.
I love it.
Yeah.
Dobies are good dogs.
Yeah.
Oh, they kind of get maligned. They have a bad reputation, but we had two Dobies. They were sisters. They were red Dobies.
Oh.
And they were so goofy sweet, but they scared everybody that
they
came
do.
driving up to the house.
It's kind of like a pit bull.
It
pit
is.
bulls are really big babies.
Yeah, they can be.
Yeah.
Yes. So anyway, enjoy dressing up your pet. We have one
Well,
thing.
does Pam lay your clothes out in the morning?
Good morning, love.
Does she dress you in the morning?
Oh, that's funny. That's really funny. Oh, Pam's on the floor right now. She's like, no, she wakes up and she looks to see what did he put together today.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, that's how it works in my house.
Okay.
Anyway, have something to eat. It's National Hot Pastrami Sandwich Day.
Ooh, one of my favorites.
Oh, it's wonderful. A very popular delicatessen meat, usually made from beef. To make pastrami, they place raw meat in brine, then they partially dry it and season it with various herbs and spices to be smoked and steamed. It originated from Romania, made usually with beef brisket. Pastrami, the word likely comes from the Romanian verb pastra, meaning to preserve or to keep. The first commercial pastrami stand in the United States was opened by a Romanian immigrant named Sussman Volk in 1888, and it was introduced to the United States in a wave of Jewish immigration from Romania in the second half of the 19th century. They are often served on rye bread and topped with mustard, sour pickles, and sometimes coleslaw. And of course, pastrami sandwiches have become a staple in delis and restaurants, especially in New York City.
Well, I have to tell you, that's one of my favorites. And there was a place over here for years that served the big ones. It's out of business now. But you could go in there and get the pastrami sandwich. I mean, you could only eat a half.
Oh, I love it. Yes.
Okay, and then they put the cheese and the coleslaw on it. Then they gave you the au jus and horseradish to dip in.
Yes. Yes.
Wonderful.
And you know, with the kind of the changing dietary regulations,
Did we
or at
lose
least
Alice on that one?
yeah, the big hunk of meat, yeah. But you know, there's a new emphasis on protein in our diet now. RFK Jr. has kind of instituted this, so pastrami falls into that. Yet we got to be careful because some of the protein sources are not that lean. How lean is pastrami?
That's a good question. I don't know. Well, you can look at it and see. But,
it tastes as good as it looks.
Yeah. Gosh, that's just, woo. Yes.
Pastrami. It's what's for breakfast on this Wednesday morning.
All right.
All right, that's all I got.
That's it?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
No more.
Okay, well, I don't know if Pam dresses him, but he does come to work.
A look at our weather from Grange Co-op. High pressure continues with air stagnation, so today in northern Oregon and southern Washington, early patchy fog before 1 p.m., then clearing to mostly sunny with highs in the low 50s for Vancouver, Portland, Wilsonville, and McMinnville. Moving down the Willamette Valley with dense fog, gradually clearing to mostly sunny with daytime high temperatures in the upper 40s for Salem, Albany, Corvallis, and Eugene, with lows tonight in the mid-30s. Sunny skies over central Oregon with highs in the low 60s around Prineville, upper 50s in Bend, and mid-50s around Sun River. Over in Boise, Idaho, patchy morning fog, then sunny with a high near 41. Along the Oregon coast, patchy fog before 1 p.m., then sunny in mid-50s in Coos Bay, but sunny from Port Orford through Brookings and Crescent City, California, with daytime high temperatures in the low 60s. In southern Oregon, patchy morning fog for Grants Pass and Medford, then clearing to sunny with highs in the mid to upper 40s, sunny in mid-50s in Ashland, and sunshine for Klamath Falls with a high near 49. Into northern California, patchy fog, then sunny in Wairika with a high near 50, sunny skies with highs in the upper 60s in Redding and low 60s in Chico, patchy fog, then mostly sunny and near 57 in Sacramento. In the Bay Area, patchy fog for Santa Rosa and Napa, then clearing to sunny and low to mid-60s. Sunny in San Francisco with a high near 61 and a light northeast wind. And today in San Jose, sunny and near 68. It's a snapshot of your Wednesday weather from Grange Co-op.
Little picture of our valley. Portions of it is clear, but that northern portion right over the airport north, it's really thick.
I want to know what portion this is because it doesn't look anything like that when I came through. My goodness.
That's down at the south end.
Okay.
But boy, it hugs around the western hills, excuse me, and then from about, I'm going to say, Roxanne Road to the north, it gets pretty thick.
Yeah.
And it's right on the ground and it's icy.
Well, coming down from the upper Rogue, coming down through Shady Cove. Normally, the fog line has been around Shady Cove. But this morning it was a little further down, a little by Trail Christian Fellowship, maybe even a little bit on the other side of that. But I guarantee you're coming down from Prospect or the upper Rogue, you're going to hit it. Be careful.
All right, be careful.
All right, with a great illustration, here is Pastor Anthony George encouraging us to look forward, not backwards.
In the 14th chapter, turn to that in Numbers, verse 1, it says, "So all the congregation, they lifted up their voices and they started crying and they wept. And all the children of Israel complained against they complained against Moses. And Aaron and the whole congregation said to them, 'If only we had died in the land of Egypt, or if only we had died in this wilderness. Why has the Lord brought us to this land to fall by the sword, that our wives and our children should be victims? Would it not be better for us to return to Egypt?' So they said to one another, 'Let's get a new leader and return to Egypt.'" This is disgusting. They were focused on where they'd been instead of where it was God wanted them to go. And we look at this and we see it for what it is, but we don't see it as clearly when we do the same thing. Now, we may not want to literally revisit our Egypt. We may not want to go back and live in those places and place ourselves back in those situations of our lives that were marked by such pain or failure. But if we aren't careful, our focus will still be on places we will never revisit, but we might as well be back there because that's where our focus keeps us.
Wow. Wow.
How
many people cannot let the past go?
Yeah.
And I get it. I
Yes.
really do. But boy, it really takes determination and intentional change not to live there.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, because we know that when we come to the Lord, we confess our sins, He throws it into His sea of forgetfulness.
There you go.
If He can do that, why can't we?
Yeah, because we have memory. And,
Yeah, well, true.
But the old saying is, you may never get over it, but you do get through it.
That is really well
So
said.
you just got to be into. By the way, I want to stop here and remind you that today the Reverend Franklin Graham is calling the nation to prayer, and he put out this call a couple of days ago. And what he is basically saying, he's keeping it simple. The nation's in trouble. We got a lot of problems, and I guess I could spend an hour listing them all. Okay, and all the strife and the tension and the anxiety and the division and all the stuff that's going on. He's basically saying, wherever you are at noon, your time, find a place of solitude and pray for America. Ask the Lord to forgive us of our sins, and ask the Lord to help us and to make good decisions. Pray for our leaders, even the ones that you don't like.
Yes.
Pray that God would supernaturally guide those who are in leadership. I mean, Romans 13 is pretty clear about that. But the point being is, nothing else on your agenda at noon, somewhere today, wherever you are at noon, step back, close the door, and pray for America. God, help us. Forgive us of our sins. Help us. We're in a mess. We need you. So do that today, okay?
Great reminder.
All right, there's that. Let's take a look at some of the top stories today, and this will tell you why we should pray.
Okay.
In the meantime, I have to tell you, what's going on in Iran is unbelievable. The numbers are so contrasting, but they're saying at least 12,000 have been murdered.
Whoa.
And families are having to go through, if you can imagine this, body bags to identify people.
Oh, wow.
So it's really pretty bad. And so it's so bad that the president has said to Iran, even though you want to talk, we're not going to talk because you're killing your citizens. And he's telling the citizens, help is on the way. As the death toll from Iran crackdown and the anti-regime protests reaches staggering levels, with families searching through body bags, over 10,000 arrested, and executions are underway. The president canceled all talks with Iran officials and declared help is on the way and warned the regime killers, you will pay a big price, and urged protesters to take over your institutions and encouraged Americans to leave the country immediately.
Oh, man.
So here we go.
Yes. Well,
I woke up this morning, and quite frankly, first thing I did was look, and I thought, I'm surprised we didn't do something last night.
Well, yeah, me too. And I think we're all kind of sitting on pins and needles waiting, because I think most people expect some kind of action.
Well, given the style, you know, the Situation Room is humming with with strategy.
Yeah,
so that's what's going on.
Yeah.
Well, Speaker Johnson said yesterday that no, military action will not be needed in Greenland. Now, let me play the clip here first, and we'll come back and talk about it. Here's what the Speaker had to say.
I think this is a media narrative that's been created. I do. We've been very clear. I mean, the Article 1 branch is clear. There's no declaration of war pending for Greenland. It's not a thing. I don't anticipate any boots on the ground anywhere anytime soon. And look, there are negotiations. There is interest in Greenland for U.S. interests, America's first interest. It has to do with national security and critical minerals and many other reasons, and we've long acknowledged that. I mean, it goes back to I think the Truman administration was the first president who expressed a direct interest in being involved there. We've had military operations there over the years. Some of it's been dormant in recent years, but it's a serious area on the globe with regard to our competition with China and Russia and some of our other people we would regard as adversaries on many of these issues. Greenland is of strategic importance, its geography and everything else. So look, again, You have to wait for that to play out. I'm going to leave it to the administration to articulate it how they will. But I think what the president is articulating is something that everybody objectively has to acknowledge, that Greenland has strategic significance to us and also to other countries around the world. So we need to play that very seriously.
Excuse me. Well, let me say this. Secretary of State Marco Rubio and others are meeting with a delegation from Denmark and Greenland today. And we'll see what happens. The Danish foreign minister said that the Trump push to take control of the Arctic island for what he calls national security reasons. Right now, the pushback is, no, you're not, yes, you are, and all this stuff. Look, at the end of the day, the Danish government hasn't been able to do anything for Greenland. Okay. 60,000 people. It is strategic. And given the climate that's out there, if we don't get it, and I want to be sympathetic of all the emotions involved here, but if we don't get it, who does? And it is part of the Northern Hemisphere. And do you want Russia that close?
No.
Given how Russia operates, look what they're done to Ukraine. Do you really want Russia taking over Greenland?
No, and I don't think Trump's going to send in troops.
No, he's
but
not
I
gonna.
think he's going to send in cash.
Yeah. So
I think he's going to try pay him off.
This is the ultimate business deal.
Yes.
I mean, so this sounds cheap, and I don't mean it to be, but all of a sudden you got 60,000 people there. They really have kind of an economy. It's not thriving. It's just kind of maintains. Huge landmass that has a lot of potential. They don't even have the potential to take advantage of their own landmass and what it can produce in the way of economy. And Norway certainly isn't providing that. And so, Denmark is not providing that. So the president comes in, and this is hypothetical. He says to the citizens, here's $100,000, and you get to become a U.S. citizen with all the benefits.
$100,000 each. Yes. Yeah.
What do you do with this?
I'll take the money and run.
So all he has to do is sway 51% of the citizens.
Well, that's a good point. Do they have the ability to enact some kind of a referendum or?
I don't know.
I
don't know how that works.
Yeah.
If they're under Denmark rule, I don't know what Denmark policies are. Anyway, I think it's there. I think they're talking. Remember, we did this with Canada, become state 51. All right, Canada's a different deal. Could Denmark, does it become a U.S. territory, or does it become the 51st state?
Oh, good question. Yeah.
Does Cuba become a U.S. territory like Puerto Rico, or does it become the 51st state?
Oh man, these are pretty big, lofty questions.
There you go.
Yeah, man.
In the meantime, the president's administration yesterday has told his administration that they're going to revoke the citizenship of any naturalized immigrant from Somalia or any other country who has been convicted of defrauding the citizens.
Good.
Wow.
Good.
Now, they have to be convicted.
Okay. Yeah, right.
And if they've been convicted of fraud, have a nice day. You're going somewhere. Not here.
Yeah.
This is kind of interesting. The president said in the federal government will halt any payments to sanctuary jurisdictions, those localities and states that refuse to cooperate with ICE, beginning next month. And here's a little bit of a commentary on that.
We're giving 90-day notices to places like California, Scott. Right away, we're going to send out that notice. Who would bill the federal government as people poured into the state to send those people back, because no country can afford to do it. No country can afford to take in millions of people, pay for their education, their health care, their hospitals. You just can't do it. And we all have a heart. You can't do it. But many of those people are murderers. They're people released from jails, prisons, mental institutions, insane asylums. They're people that are drug dealers. They're addicts. Additionally, starting February 1st, we're not making any payments to sanctuary cities or states having sanctuary cities, because they do everything possible to protect criminals at the expense of American citizens, and it breeds fraud and crime and all of the other problems that come. So we're not making any payment to anybody that supports sanctuary cities.
Ooh.
Who's the oldest sanctuary city in the country?
Is it Portland?
State.
Oh, say Oregon. Yeah.
Oregon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
What does this mean?
This means that a lot of folks are getting lawyers. The lawyers are getting ready to go. A lot of people are going to be making money challenging this. We're going to see this go to the courts. And then we may even see some rogue judges enter into the picture again.
Yeah, I think you will.
Yeah.
This will eventually end up at the Supreme Court.
Yes.
And the question will be, does ICE have the jurisdiction to do what they are doing? That'll be the ultimate question.
Okay,
is ICE operating within their legal boundaries?
Okay, now we're looking at jurisdictions, we're looking at Supreme Court cases, and I'm looking here to see if I'm, no, I don't see it. The Supreme Court is seriously looking right now at the transgender issue.
Yes.
And states banning transgender boys from competing against girls. It hasn't been decided yet, but the indications, and as you look at the questioning of the justices, it kind of gives you, sometimes gives you a little bit of a preliminary idea of what they're thinking. It looks on the surface as though they are going to uphold a state's rights to ban transgender boys from competing against girls. What do you think?
Well, two things happened, and they had great testimony yesterday during this case. Secondly, a couple of dozen states have already instituted this, and so that's what the case is all about.
Exactly.
Okay. And third, the leading defense attorney for the transgender community could not define the word sex.
Right. They couldn't define what
a boy was or
boys and girls sports. Right.
It was so bad
that
he had to leave under protection out of the building.
This is amazing.
So I don't know. I still think it'll be like if I could do this, a conservative liberal vote could be like 6-3 or something like that.
Yeah, I think it's going to split, and it's going to be interesting to read the dissent on this.
Yeah.
Because they're talking about fairness, equality, but they have different ideas of what that means.
Well, let me say that if the Supreme Court goes with the states that they can uphold the right to not allow this to occur.
Right.
Next on the ballot, or the next before the Supreme Court, will be the legitimizing of same-sex marriages. That'll come back.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. All right.
That'll kind of be on the docket down the road here.
Okay.
Anyway, hey, you think it's foggy in Jerry's head?
You ain't seen nothing yet.
Look outside. We'll be right back.
You make everything glorious. You make everything glorious, and I am yours.
Since 1934, Grange Co-op has been more than just a store. We've been a cornerstone of our community, owned by people like you. We proudly offer top-quality farm and ranch supplies, including our own Rogue feed, as well as workwear, Western apparel, garden essentials, and pet care products. By signing up as a Grange Rewards customer, you not only enjoy exclusive benefits like special offers and 1% back on most purchases, but you also become part of something bigger, a cooperative that you own and help shape. Join Grange Rewards today.
I was intrigued by the international news reporting, and then there were also so many stories of hope and encouragement.
When you meet the needs of others, he meets your needs.
One day I came across a video through YouTube of CBN. Terry said, "The Lord's healing you."
I want to see that program every day. It lifts me up. It gives me hope.
Watch the 700 Club weekdays at 11 on the Dove TV.
Panoramic Moto Tours was born really out of my passion just to ride, grace back roads and the scenic highways in our beautiful Northwest. God put it on my heart to share the experiences and invite others. More than riding beautiful roads, it's the camaraderie and fellowship. It's hearing each other's stories. It's being mutually encouraged on our journeys of life.
Riders can book one of our ready-to-ride guided tours offering the best of Oregon or Northern California. Or book a private custom tour tailored just for your group to destinations like Glacier or Yellowstone. For more information, go to
panoramicmototours.com or call me, Nick, at 541-622-3844. When you find something you love, you just want to share it.
PanoramicMototours.com. Your next adventure starts here.
Welcome back, 26 past the hour. By the way, we're commenting on the Supreme Court's hearing yesterday on boys participating in girls' sports, and the states who are saying no to it, whether or not that's going to be upheld. And the defending attorney, or I guess it would be the offending attorney. Anyway, he couldn't define what a boy and a girl was.
Yeah.
And I think this is then so interesting. There's only two genders, not only in the human world, but in the plant world and in the animal world. But only the humans get it confused.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah.
I mean, animals don't and plants don't. If they did, we wouldn't have reproduction of those things.
Yeah, imagine that.
You know, even a battery gets it. It has a positive and a negative. It doesn't have two positives. It doesn't have two negatives.
Yeah, I love that. That's good.
But in the human realm, we're so crazy that we think that a boy can become a girl.
Right.
It's just crazy.
Right.
Well, some other news. This is kind of an industry thing. I'm kind of watching this behind the grounds because when you deal with monopolies and all this, but Paramount sues Warner over the Netflix deal. Warner's trying to take over Netflix.
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
Yeah.
And so Paramount is escalating the high-stakes bid for Warner. Discovery is taking the fight from the boardroom to the courtroom as millions of Americans watch closely. Many of them subscribe to both Netflix and Warner-owned platforms. However, seeking to force Warner to disclose the details, financial information behind the blockbuster deal with Netflix. In other words, is this the beginning of antitrust and creating a monopoly?
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised that Netflix would allow themselves to be bought out. But on the other hand, I'm glad because they've gone crazy.
Yeah, well, you're right on that. They have.
They've gone crazy. So anyway, we'll see where this goes.
Yeah.
The other one is in our own backyard, over on the other side of the mountain where I don't think there's too much fog over there this morning, Klamath Falls.
Oh, yeah.
Oregon Tech has taken a major step towards launching a new, quote, Bachelor of Science in Artificial Intelligence.
What? An AI degree?
Yes. With the university's trustees approving the program during the December meeting, the proposal has also received approval from the statewide Provost Council and includes provosts from Oregon's 7 public universities and Oregon Health and Science University. The program now will move for review for the Higher Education Coordinating Commission and the Northwest Commission on Colleges and University. Will be one of the first to offer a degree in AI.
Is that amazing?
Now, what's interesting to me, when did the professor become a professional AI that they could teach somebody else to become a professional in AI? I'm not against it. I'm just kind of curious that all of a sudden we got experts in AI. Where you been?
Right. And how does it work? Do you do all your course studies through AI? Do you have AI do all your work for you?
I mean, you get an AI degree and not do anything.
You're not doing anything. Right. Right. You know, it's interesting. I just read in a report that said that AI is advancing so quickly. We've never had any technology advance as quickly as this AI thing is going on. And they said it's advancing quicker than the human brain is capable of keeping up with.
Well,
that's the scary part.
Yeah, it's kind of true.
Yes.
Everything has good, everything has bad. It's how you look at it.
You are right.
All right, let's take a look at the satellite image. Here's what's going on out there. And
not so good.
It's we got a high pressure that's locked in over the Pacific West Coast, Pacific West Coast.
Yep.
Our part of the town.
Right, yeah, and lots of moisture out over the Pacific. It's doing its thing out there, but
not here.
The jet stream is taking it up and around, and
we're talking another week.
Yeah. We're looking at a week of sunny skies. Probably more of this valley fog in the morning, some of that stuff, but no moisture in the near or even distant future right now.
There you go.
Well, California Congressman Darrell Issa joined Stuart Varney, and he discussed President Trump's military options with handling Iran's Ayatollah. Let's listen in.
Well, the military options are somewhat similar, Stuart, to what we've already seen. But there are other options. As you know, before going in to get Maduro, they started taking ships off the high sea. The president has that capability to literally enforce sanctions by removing ships carrying Iranian oil. In the appropriations just underway right now, in the reorganization of the Voice of America, dramatic changes, getting rid of wasteful programs, but plussing up Iran, Cuba, and China interdiction in the way of communication. And most importantly, the president has the respect of the world. So when he says that he needs to have a coordinated effort against Iran, this time he'll get it.
Yeah.
I have a question. Where are all the protesters
in
when it
support
comes to
of
the
the people?
citizens of Iran?
That is a huge question.
We haven't seen one protest in America in
Not
support of the citizens in Iran.
Right.
Bunch of hypocrites.
Yes. Yes.
Go soak your head in the sand.
Oh, man.
All right. Excuse me.
Well, they're getting paid right now to protest something else. So they're, they're booked.
Oh,
they're booked.
Well, it is so hypocritical and
Yeah.
it's so obvious. It's just it just reeks with hypocrisy.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
That's all right. I need a pastrami sandwich.
Yeah, I'm in.
And with I like the cheese. Now I don't know what kind of cheese I like on. I like to have provolone.
Provolone's good. Swiss is good, but provolone is really good.
Okay.
And spicy mustard?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you like the coleslaw on it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you like the dip?
Yeah. Oh, yes.
So you want the au jus and and horseradish?
Yes. I need a little sinus clearing.
Then why are you sitting here? Go get it for me. We'll be right back.
I know who goes before me. I know who stands behind. The God of angel armies is always
Applegate River Golf and RV Resort, a pristine 9-hole course alongside the Applegate River. Their clubhouse offers a golf simulator experience. The RV Resort is adjacent to the golf course with convenient pull-through parking. Applegate River Golf and RV Resort. Information at applegaterv.com.
I'm Susanna, and I contracted KA Designs to do custom cabinets throughout my house. We chose a really beautiful maple wood that really creates like a nice airy space. Everything was custom, and it was really cool because I got to literally see it come to life in person. We love to entertain, and we have a large family, so everything came together perfectly, exactly what I wanted. I highly suggest KA Designs if you're looking to design your dream house. Go check them out in their showroom. You will not be disappointed.
Welcome to Rise Direct Primary Care. Imagine a healthcare experience where you're known by name, cared for like family, and treated with compassion. How is that possible? With an affordable, flat monthly membership, you receive unlimited primary care and minor urgent care visits. No insurance needed. At Rise Direct Primary Care, we offer a friendly, affordable healthcare experience where you get a whole hour with your provider. Located in Central Medford and accessible by phone or text, we can typically get you in the same or next day. We prescribe urgent care medications directly from our office, saving you a trip and wait time at the pharmacy when you'd rather be at home getting better. Personalized medical care with a human touch. Rise Direct Primary Care is all about healing the sick with compassion and keeping the healthy healthy. Rise Direct Primary Care. We're here for you. Visit risehealthdpc.com or call or text us 541-827-8603. 541-827-8603.
At Rogue Hearing in Phoenix, we help you hear life again, clearly and comfortably. From expert hearing tests to custom aids and more, the team at Rogue Hearing delivers care you can trust. Rogue Hearing in Phoenix at the shops at Exit 24. Personalized hearing care right here at home.
Welcome back. Happy Tuesday, icy, foggy Tuesday. Be careful out there. So a lot going on the icy, foggy thing. But the big story is what's happening in Iran and how long will the United States stand by and let innocent people be killed? Well, you know, a trial in Iran is you're guilty, you're dead.
Yes.
I mean, it's almost that quick. Yeah. And that's what's going on. Thousands now are being slaughtered in the streets. So let's check in with CBN News Watch and get caught up.
This is CBN News Watch.
Thank you so much for joining us. We want to begin this half hour with President Trump's promise to Iranians that help is on the way. Now the world is watching to see how the president responds to cries for help from Iran as the government is brutally attacking the protesters. Chris Mitchell brings us the story now. He's reporting from Jerusalem.
President Trump delivered a message to the protesters on the streets of Iran.
Keep protesting. Take over your institutions if possible, and save the name of the killers and the abusers that are abusing you. You're being very badly abused. And I've canceled all meetings with the Iranian officials until the senseless killing of protesters stops. And all I say to them is help is on its way.
The president is meeting with his advisors to discuss a number of options. Some believe that help on the way may include military, cyber, and psychological attacks aimed at the regime's leaders and the infrastructure carrying out the massacre of protesters.
They need the help of the United States to get over the finish line, to take this revolution to a place where it would be meaningful, would actually topple the regime. Again, they do not have weapons. They don't have any formal organization on the ground.
While the protesters look for help, human rights groups say more than 2,500 are known dead, but some estimates put the deaths over 10,000. Iranian pastor Ara Tarosian played this message he received from an Iranian family to CBN's Raj Nir.
He said Arash was alone. With the shotgun, they start shooting him. And his cousin tried to take him back, but he couldn't do it. And they couldn't take the hospital, and he died on the hand of his father.
There are also concerns the government will begin executing protesters in custody, including 26-year-old Irfan Soltani, who is facing death by hanging. The war within the war is over the internet. For several days, the regime has shut it down, limiting the protesters' ability to organize, coordinate, and show the outside world what's happening. Some are using Elon Musk's Starlink to get the word out, but the regime is searching for those users to shut them down. The U.S. and at least 9 other nations are telling their citizens to get out of Iran immediately, while Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and Oman are warning Trump not to intervene. The protesters are rallying around the son of the former Shah of Iran, Reza Pahlavi. Reportedly, he's met with Trump's special envoy, Steve Witkoff. On his Facebook page, he encouraged Iranians to continue the fight, promised those responsible for the massacres will be prosecuted, and sent a message to Iranian security forces.
You are the national military of Iran, not the military of the Islamic Republic. You have a duty to protect the lives of your compatriots. You do not have much time. Join them as soon as possible.
He also addressed the Jerusalem prayer breakfast held at Mar-a-Lago this week.
We need your prayers more than ever to make sure that this does happen. And we will do our part. And I appreciate your solidarity and support. Thank you, my friends. And hopefully we'll have the next prayer breakfast in Tehran once liberated. And we will welcome you with open arms.
Incredible reporting. Chris joins us now with more. So, Chris, what are you hearing from Iranian officials?
Well, they seem to be doubling down, if not tripling down, Ephraim. They're saying anyone present on the streets from January 8th is a criminal. The punishments for people will vary from person to person. What we have heard, and we've reported on this before, actually, people coming into hospitals with gunshot wounds are assumed to be in the protests, and they're being arrested, not treated in those hospitals. The head of judiciary is justifying the death penalty, and we talked about that 26-year-old who may face that penalty today. They're talking about executions for those involved in the protests. Many people really see this as a sign of weakness in the regime. And we also understand that the Iranian security forces are deliberately firing at the protesters' heads and eyes, causing debilitating injuries. Doctors reporting hundreds of eye and head wounds. They're firing metal pellets at the protesters, deliberately trying to damage the head and the eyes. And Ephraim, this is the same thing they did when they were protests on the streets in 2022.
Okay, we'll see what happens. I understand strategy and I understand diplomacy, but we're watching worldwide innocent people being killed. And no other country can get in there and do what we can do. And the question is, how are we going to do it?
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. It is really icy out there, folks. Yeah. We have a chain link fence out here in a fence.
Yeah.
When ice forms on a chain link fence, that is cold ice.
That's a good indicator, isn't it?
Now, we're not living in Greenland or Alaska
or even Iceland.
No, but it's our version of it. Here's a guy to tell you about it.
A look at our weather from Grange Co-op. High pressure continues with air stagnation, so today in northern Oregon and southern Washington, early patchy fog before 1 p.m., then clearing to mostly sunny with highs in the low 50s for Vancouver, Portland, Wilsonville, and McMinnville. Moving down the Willamette Valley with dense fog, gradually clearing to mostly sunny with daytime high temperatures in the upper 40s for Salem, Albany, Corvallis, and Eugene, with lows tonight in the mid-30s. Sunny skies over central Oregon with highs in the low 60s around Prineville, upper 50s in Bend and mid-50s around Sun River. Over in Boise, Idaho, patchy morning fog, then sunny with a high near 41. Along the Oregon coast, patchy fog before 1 p.m., then sunny in mid-50s in Coos Bay, but sunny from Port Orford through Brookings and Crescent City, California, with daytime high temperatures in the low 60s. In southern Oregon, patchy morning fog for Grants Pass and Medford, then clearing to sunny with highs in the mid to upper 40s, sunny in mid-50s in Ashland, and sunshine for Klamath Falls with a high near 49. Into northern California, patchy fog, then sunny in Wairika with a high near 50, sunny skies with highs in the upper 60s in Redding and low 60s in Chico, patchy fog, then mostly sunny and near 57 in Sacramento. In the Bay Area, patchy fog for Santa Rosa and Napa, then clearing to sunny and low to mid-60s. Sunny in San Francisco with a high near 61 and a light northeast wind. And today in San Jose, sunny and near 68. It's a snapshot of your Wednesday weather from Grange Co-op.
Well, again, this is good. This doesn't fit what we're telling you.
What are you looking at?
Well, that picture's pretty nice.
It looks great.
Yeah, that's the south end of the valley where there doesn't seem to be this really thick, icy fog. But you can also see the air stagnation.
Yep.
We're in an air stagnation condition. But as that picture pans to the north, you'll start to see the pockets of fog, and it's down on the ground. I've heard nothing happening at the airport. In fact, even the vehicle that de-ices airplane just sitting out there idle.
Just sitting there, yeah.
Yep. So we'll keep you posted on that.
All right. Well, time for another little shot of music here, because they sang some of the biggest hits of the 1960s and performed their last concert on this day in history. On January 14th, 1970, the curtain closed on one of the most successful pop groups of all time. Diana Ross and the Supremes performed their final concert at the Frontier Hotel in Las Vegas. With 12 #1 hits, the Supremes helped define the sound of the 1960s, second only to Elvis Presley and the Beatles in chart dominance during rock and roll's first full decade. But behind the glitter, tensions had been building for years. The group began as childhood friends Mary Wilson, Florence Ballard, and Diana Ross, then known as the Primettes, growing up together in Detroit. Their breakthrough came in 1964 with Where Did Our Love Go?, launching a historic run of 5 #1 hits in under a year. As Motown chief Berry Gordy positioned Diana Ross for a solo career, the group's dynamic changed. Lineup shifts followed, and by late 1969, the breakup became official. That final Las Vegas performance marked the end of an era and the beginning of Diana Ross's solo superstardom, closing the chapter on a group that helped shape American pop music forever.
Well, isn't that something? So does Pam sing that to you every night?
Or maybe it's the other way around.
I can just see her doing that. Oh, that's great.
That's good.
Is it hard for you to make decisions?
It depends on what the decision is.
There you go. All right. So the other one is, I want to ask this nicely.
Okay.
Because I've done a lot of counseling, and this is always an issue. And I'm not a professional counselor.
All right.
So
All right.
we need Bill Gallagher in there, but I think he would affirm what I'm about to say.
Okay.
Can you get a yes or no answer out of a woman?
Oh, whoa. I'm not even touching that. Are you kidding me?
Well, you just answered the question. Okay. We're moving on here. Michael Lawrence, he's from Crossway, answers, if making the decision, is that what Jesus meant when he said, repent and believe? Here's what he had to say.
When Jesus called us to repent and believe, he was calling us to follow him. And certainly that involves a decision. I'm not going to follow the other things that I was following, and instead, I'm going to follow Jesus. But we should be careful not to reduce repenting and believing to a mere decision. Oftentimes, we make all sorts of decisions that really amount to nothing more than lifestyle choices. Repenting and believing, following Jesus, is not a lifestyle choice. It is coming under his lordship. It is dying to myself and giving myself wholly to him. So, repenting and believing is something we need to do. And in that sense, it could be a decision. But it could never be a mere decision, because it's the giving of my life to him.
Surrender is not demanding. Surrender is surrender.
Yeah.
I think the frustration is, Jesus, why aren't you doing it my way?
Yeah.
Well, there's a reason for that. Anyway, we dug a hole. We're going to stay in it. We'll be right back.
Boundless and free, grace for the broken and sinner like me, grace that can pardon and cleanse me within.
Put your gold in an envelope, mail it. Hopefully you get a check. No. Father and son jewelry, bring your gold in, we weigh it, we check it, we make you the offer.
Or turn you something old into something new. Whether it's an idea, a picture, or a piece you want to duplicate, we can melt it down and make it for you.
And if you find your perfect piece in store, trade your something old for something new, and you always get a little extra.
Visit Father and Son Jewelry, 5 generations of family in Medford.
But when I first came, we were in a very small building. We were already broadcasting on TV, but the only local in-house program that we had on TV was the news. And Steve was doing the news in the garage with a makeshift backdrop behind him, but the quality was top-notch. And then from there we went to moving the morning show from radio to television. In fact, that was my first assignment. On April 15th, we had our first show. In the meantime, we started doing the afternoon show. It was called Afternoons on the Dove. The morning show became a fully television morning show. And I remember April 15th, we had our first full TV broadcast, and we didn't tell Perry that we had a big surprise for him. Finally, we told Perry, the guest is here. He came out, and everyone was just cheering him and congratulating him on finally his dream coming true of the morning show being on television.
The Lennox iComfort S30 thermostat can sense changes in your environment. It even knows when you come and go. So now your home's most important system is also the smartest.
Metal Masters can give you the smartest home comfort system available. It knows when you're away and adjusts when allergens and humidity get uncomfortable. Trust Metal Masters to provide perfect air for your family.
Lennox. Air is life. Make it perfect.
Okay, 11 minutes before the hour. Affordability is a word that keeps popping up. I was in some meetings and luncheons over the last several days, and it is a topic. It is a word that's on the table. What is affordability, you know? So in the meantime, Fox Business, what they call the Evening Edit, spoke with Kevin O'Leary. He's quite a guy, you know, and says that the president's administration is right to talk about affordability. And here's what he had to say.
Well, he's right on the message. Affordability and healthcare are going to be the two hot topics for the midterm. So he's campaigning. There were good numbers in here, but let's remember the Fed mandate is 2%, and we're way above that. We're 2.7. Some of the inflation numbers around protein and food up there almost close to 4. So there's work to be done. Some of this is coming from tariffs, which he can actually control. He can put a moratorium on immediately on things like pineapples and bauxite and bitumen and all the stuff that we don't have that we shouldn't tariff. If we don't make it, why tariff it? So he could fix that pretty easily before November, and I think he probably will. The one nasty little number that you don't have up on that screen is electricity, up over 6%. We got a problem brewing. The grid is tapped out in America. The Chinese have put on 500 gigawatts of power through coal-burning plants in the last 18 months, and we have brought 0 into our grid. So we got a problem. It's a federal problem called FERC, So if I build a power plant in a state where I can get nat gas, and I'm trying to do that right now, I get FERC'd because I can't put it onto the grid. We got to fix. Who wants to get FERC'd? But I'm not going to stop harping about power. If we don't have power, Ford can forget about 24 hours a day making cars. We got to get more power. I'm freaked out about the Chinese kicking our butts on power. I'm going to make it a big issue when I get to Washington. We got to get through this. We got to build more power and forget it. We got to get around this FERC thing. I can't attach to the grid. I'll bring a power facility. I just found out today I can't attach it to the grid.
Power. The key word of the day is power.
Well, there's a lot of things being looked at. The president's pretty much going to defund windmills. There is no ROI, and does it really get enough into the grid to make any difference? Yeah. Our grid needs to be looked at, obviously. It's very vulnerable. Solar panels seem to have a better return than the windmills do, okay? But here's the problem. With the rise of AI can only work with power, and it's requiring a lot of power.
A lot of power. It's power and water, and it's turning out that there are some communities who don't want these AI centers near them because they are drawing so much power. Yeah. And so, we're looking, and you hit it really on the head there, Perry, because the infrastructure, our grid, is really vulnerable.
It is.
And now we have these increased demands, and of course, our consumer demands aren't going down. I think people are being sensible.
With EVs.
Yes. So where's this power going to come from, especially as you start shutting off things like coal and fossil fuels?
I'll tell you what's going to come back with great controversy, nuclear power.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yes.
So it's going to come back. It's going to be very controversial.
Other countries are developing their nuclear.
It is. And, through the years, we've learned how to make this a whole lot safer.
Absolutely.
So, but look, folks, this is one of the other areas of great concern. And so we'll see where this goes. But he's absolutely right on this. And so we'll keep an eye on him. All right, we got some great guests coming up, and look forward to Murray Sabin will be with us. He's kind of an interesting guy because he likes some of the things that the president's doing economically, some of the things he thinks isn't crazy. But here's a question.
What?
Why hasn't the Supreme Court ruled on the tariffs?
Yeah.
They heard the arguments in November.
Yes.
And here we are almost at the end of January.
Yes.
What's going on here?
Is this tougher for them than we realize?
I think it is really tough.
Yeah.
Because of the ambiguity of it. And the only thing I can think of is, do they come up with a compromise? Stop what you've done so far and do it this way. But
that's an interesting angle.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I don't know if that is in the protocols. I mean, they have to make a hardcore decision.
Right. Yeah.
Can they split a decision like that?
Whoa.
They can make a decision, but they can't give an edict.
Yeah. Yes.
And here's the problem. With all due respect to Speaker Johnson, who's fighting to just keep the majority. I mean, that's all he's been trying to do. Right. And I say that respectfully.
Yeah.
But it's really been a non-productive Congress. All they do is fight.
Yeah, right.
And they could have taken on this tariff thing before it got to the Supreme Court, but they were too bogged down with. And here we go into another fight called the debt or the budget at the end of the month. And behind the scenes, even though it's not in the news right now, behind the scenes, both sides are strategizing. The left wants to shut it down, and the right's going to try to figure out how to beat them with the health care issue. I have no idea what the talk is, but that's going on.
Wow. Wow. Could we have avoided this thing being looked at by the Supreme Court if Trump had taken this to Congress and tried to get these tariffs instituted through congressional action? Because they say basically that's the sticking point, because they're viewing it as a tax, and they say only Congress can tax.
Yeah. The problem is it's not clear.
Yeah. Yep.
That's the problem. We have some ambiguity. Here's the problem. Here's the other thing, since we're on a little bit.
Okay.
What if the president ignores the Supreme Court's decision? Think about this. The lower federal judges are ignoring the Supreme Court's decision on sticking their nose in national interest.
True.
And there's no consequence.
That's true. Yeah. Yes.
So if the Supreme Court comes out with a ruling and the president says, I don't like your ruling, and just goes on anyway, what's the consequence? We don't have any teeth in a Supreme Court decision.
That's like mind-numbing to even think of this. You talk about a constitutional crisis. How would they resolve something like that?
I don't know. They should be going after these lower court judges, and they're not.
Whoa. Yeah.
They should be disbarred, or they should be slapped down, or something. Nothing happens.
You're right. You're right.
You know, I mean, look at the Supreme Court saying no to the school loans.
Oh, yeah.
And Biden ignored it and did it anyway. What was the consequence?
Yeah, there wasn't. Yeah.
We're in this lawless state in America. Kind of crazy.
Well, yeah, we like to follow the laws that we like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we're out of, let not the root of bitterness, anger, rage, brawling, and slander, along with every form of malice, be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other, just as Christ has forgiven you. You know, overcome evil with good. Perfect. Overcome anger with being nice.
Amen.
Pay it ahead today.
All right.
Buy somebody a pastrami
sandwich.
They're fun-loving twins. They love God, hunting, and pranking each other. Join the Hamptons for outdoor adventure every weekend on Twin Factor. Brought to you by Black Flag Armory in Medford and Grants Pass. Truly excellent service.
The threat of wildfire poses a growing risk to Oregonians. You can prepare now by taking 3 important steps. Create a home inventory. Make copies of important financial records, and contact your insurance company to make sure you have the right amounts and types of home insurance coverage. Be wildfire ready by being insurance ready. Visit dfr.oregon.gov/prepare now to learn how.
A ministry moment on the Dove.
If you are tired, that means I get fed up. I am tired of living the way I'm living. If you're tired from carrying heavy loads, if you're not tired of trying to solve all the problems by yourself, Jesus can't help you. So let me ask you, are you tired? Are you tired of running on empty? Are you fed up with the emptiness that you've been feeling in your life? And are you willing to do something about it? As I said, we don't change until we feel the heat. You have to come some point in your life where you go, I have had enough. I refuse to live this way any longer.
A ministry moment on the Dove.
Important topics, in-depth conversation. Focus today, weekdays only on the Dove TV. Encouraging and informative. Good morning. You're tuned to the Dove, encouraging and informative, helping Oregon, Northern California, Idaho, and Nevada start the day with news and encouragement. This is Mornings on the Dove.
And good morning to you. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to Mornings on the Dove. And if you think it's icy and foggy in Jerry's head, wait till you step outside.
You ain't seen nothing yet.
It's pretty interesting out there. Very cold, very icy. Drive carefully.
All the way from Portland, all the way down to San Jose. We got spots of patchy fog everywhere.
Yeah.
Look out.
That's when the temperature and the dew point come together. And within about 2 degrees, and you get fog. And some of it's very thick, right on the ground, and very icy, so be careful.
Right.
Good morning. A lot going on in the news, as you can tell, and we have all that for you. What do you got, man?
Well, this is a big day. It's called Ratification Day, recognizing the act that officially ended the American Revolution, commemorating the ratification of the Treaty of Paris on this day in 1784 at the Maryland State House in Annapolis, Maryland, by the Confederation Congress. Now, after the Declaration of Independence was signed, nearly 8 years passed before the British and Americans agreed to a ceasefire. As part of the Treaty of Paris, Great Britain recognized the United States as a sovereign entity, and it happened on this day in 1784. You know, we celebrate the Declaration, you know, the signing of the Declaration, but this is when it all came to a conclusion 8 years later.
8 years later.
Yeah. It's also a little frivolity here. Dress Up Your Pet Day. National Dress Up Your Pet Day. And it comes with a lot of warnings these days about doing things to your pets that they don't really like, that might make them uncomfortable, that make them feel like they're not in a safe space anymore.
Yeah.
I think a lot of us have dressed up our pets at some degree. We used to put little antlers during Christmas time on our Dobies. We're talking about Doberman Pinschers. And the girls, they would sit there in their little reindeer antlers on the top of their head. I even put ski goggles on them.
Really?
Yes. So, but be careful. You know, don't let your kids get too rambunctious with the pets. But
so does Pam lay your clothes out in the morning?
No, that's funny. that opens up a can of worms that I don't even want to go into.
Well, Pam, you do a pretty good job dressing your pet.
Oh my goodness. You know, it might make my mornings a little faster if she actually did that.
Don't go there.
But,
go there.
But then you have to deal with the difference of opinions on what, you know.
Yes.
You want me to wear that?
That color?
Come on. Okay. All right. So one thing to eat, but boy, is it good. It is National Hot Pastrami Sandwich Day. A popular delicatessen meat, pastrami is usually made from beef. And to make it, you place a raw meat in brine that partially dried and seasoned with various herbs and spices to be smoked and steamed. Now, pastrami is a type of cured meat that originated in Romania, and it's usually made from beef brisket. The name pastrami comes from a Romanian verb a pastra, meaning to preserve or keep. The first commercial pastrami stand in the United States was opened by a Romanian immigrant named Sussman Volk in 1888 and was introduced to the United States in a wave of Jewish immigration from Romania in the second half of the 19th century. Often served on rye bread and topped with mustard, sour pickles, and sometimes coleslaw. And pastrami, a pastrami sandwich has become a staple in delis and restaurants, especially in New York City.
Yeah.
Oh, it's good too. Yeah.
Have you ever gone to Carnegie Deli?
I have, yes, indeed.
You cannot eat their sandwich.
You can't do it. You can't get your mouth around it even. You have to just kind of start whittling on it with your mouth.
Yeah.
But, oh, it's good. And there's a lot of emphasis these days. We saw that RFK Jr. And his cohorts came out with some new guidelines.
Protein.
Yeah.
Eat more protein?
Eat more protein, yeah. But the key is, you know, lean protein, especially when it comes to red meats, because sometimes you can get them a little bit too much fat in it. But what do you think about pastrami? Was it qualify? Is it lean, or do you have to be careful with it?
It's everything.
It's just good.
It's good.
Yeah.
But you got it. All right. So you have the pastrami. You have maybe a little melted cheese with it. You got the pickles on it. You got the coleslaw. Then you have to have the au jus dip and horseradish dip.
Okay. Yes. Yep. Checking out. I'm done. I won't be talking for a while.
All right.
Enjoy.
All right. Well, here's a guy that's been dipped.
A look at our weather from Grange Co-op. High pressure continues with air stagnation, so today in northern Oregon and southern Washington, early patchy fog before 1 p.m., then clearing to mostly sunny with highs in the low 50s for Vancouver, Portland, Wilsonville, and McMinnville. Moving down the Willamette Valley with dense fog, gradually clearing to mostly sunny with daytime high temperatures in the upper 40s for Salem, Albany, Corvallis, and Eugene, with lows tonight in the mid-30s. Sunny skies over central Oregon with highs in the low 60s around Prineville, upper 50s in Bend, and mid-50s around Sun River. Over in Boise, Idaho, patchy morning fog, then sunny with a high near 41. Along the Oregon coast, patchy fog before 1 p.m., then sunny in mid-50s in Coos Bay, but sunny from Port Orford through Brookings and Crescent City, California, with daytime high temperatures in the low 60s. In southern Oregon, patchy morning fog for Grants Pass and Medford, then clearing to sunny with highs in the mid to upper 40s, sunny in mid-50s in Ashland, and sunshine for Klamath Falls with a high near 49. Into northern California, patchy fog, then sunny in Wairika with a high near 50, sunny skies with highs in the upper 60s in Redding and low 60s in Chico, patchy fog, then mostly sunny and near 57 in Sacramento. In the Bay Area, patchy fog for Santa Rosa and Napa, then clearing to sunny and low to mid-60s. Sunny in San Francisco with a high near 61 and a light northeast wind. And today in San Jose, sunny and near 68. It's a snapshot of your Wednesday weather from Grange Co-op.
And there it is. That's what we've been telling you. Finally, that's the picture of the north end of the valley. And it is socked in pretty tight. And no air movement. In fact, the air is kind of stagnant. That fog is frozen.
Yeah.
So be careful out there.
That's what it looks like I drove through this morning
Yeah,
to
me
get
too.
to work. There it is.
Oh.
All right. Well, to encourage us to transform our own outlook, here is Pastor Anthony George, and he's sharing an excerpt from the book, The Power of Positive Leadership.
From The Power of Positive Leadership, it says, positive leadership is not just about feeding the positive, it's about weeding out the negative. As a leader, you must recognize that negativity exists and you cannot ignore it. One of the biggest mistakes leaders make is that they ignore the negativity within their team and organization. They allow it to breed and to grow, and it eventually sabotages the team and the organization. As a leader, he writes, you must address the negativity in your organization. There are three options: confront it, transform it, or remove it. Boy, that was a good word. And perhaps I'm being led to share that with someone here for a reason. What he was saying is negativity and toxicity are cancerous, and they must be dealt with. They got to be dealt with in your family, in your marriage, with your kids. They got to be dealt with in the workplace. And our tendency is to sometimes just look the other way, keep becoming more tolerant, more lenient. And what you do when you become more tolerant and more lenient is you enable it. You enable it to thrive. You fan the flames. And that's not something that you want to be guilty of doing.
Oh,
gosh, that's good stuff.
That is great stuff.
Yeah, I would put cynicism in there.
Okay.
Cynical people are pretty negative people.
Yes.
And
yes.
And like you said, it's a cancer and it will metastasize if you don't deal with it. You know. So just thought I'd let you guys know you're all fired.
I was about to ask you, how do you deal with this? Well, you just explained
You're all out of
You're
here.
gone. I love it. All right.
Just kidding. I just want to take a few moments here and pause. Today is a special day. A couple of days ago, Franklin Graham put out basically a clarion call to the nation for people to be praying for America today at noon. So wherever you are at noon, could you find a place of solitude? Maybe just sitting in your car, taking a walk outside, whatever it is, and pray for America. We have a lot of division. We have a lot of animosity. We have a lot of anxiety. We have political strife. We've got a lot of anger. We've got a lot of confusion. And we got a lot of sin.
Yeah.
And he's basically saying, take a few moments today at noon across the country. Pray that God would forgive us of our sins. In other words, you alone can repent on behalf of the nation. Do it.
Yeah.
And then ask God to bless America again and to forgive us of our sins and to help us. And then go on and pray for leaders that maybe even the ones you don't like, which is very biblical. Pray for them that they would see the light, so to speak, or that God, in spite of their ignorance, will still use them because God is in control. So, in joining Franklin Graham, wherever you are today at noon, take a few moments and be intentional and only pray for America. Ask God to bless America again. So that's my 2 cents. All right.
That was a good message. You're preaching.
No.
I'm ready to give. Where's the plate?
Go buy me a pastrami sandwich.
Okay. All right.
All right, let's take a look at some of the headlines this morning. And the hard part about all this is Iran is really in a bad way. And the president's toll on the crackdown there, we're hearing all kinds of different numbers. Some say as high as 12,000 plus have been murdered.
Yeah.
We don't know. We know a lot of people are being injured. We know a lot of people are being killed. You'll have a further follow-up on this in a few moments with CBN Newswatch. But Iran is at a teetering moment, and the president said because of the leadership over there is now killing its citizens, that he will not be meeting with the leadership there. And millions of people have taken to the streets, and thousands now are being injured or killed. And they're using all kinds of weapons. This is really a bad situation, but it also could be a good situation in the end. It looks like the regime is on the edge of falling. But can we stand by and let innocent people die? The president said yesterday, help is on the way, and the killers will pay a big price. We're yet to see what that is. I was surprised this morning I woke up and we hadn't gone in yet.
Yeah, I was too.
I don't know what it looks like, and you know that the war room and the situation room are pretty active trying to figure out how to go about this. Speaker Johnson said yesterday of the House of Representatives, no, military action won't be needed in Greenland. The Greenland thing. It's going to be America's 51st state.
Oh, gosh.
I'm just curious, if it becomes the 51st state, we thought Canada was, that didn't go very far.
That's not going to go.
Okay, so you got Greenland sitting up there. So do we call it the state of Greenland?
Well, it's got to, don't rename it. I mean...
Yeah, no, you got to leave something.
You got to leave something. Yeah.
Please don't name it Trump.
Trumpland.
No, leave the T. Leave the T off of it.
Oh, gosh.
But anyway, House Speaker Johnson said no military action. Here's what he had to say.
I think this is a media narrative that's been created. I do. We've been very clear. I mean, the Article 1 branch is clear. There's no declaration of war pending for Greenland. It's not a thing. I don't anticipate any boots on the ground anywhere anytime soon. And look, there are negotiations. There is interest in Greenland for U.S. interests, America's first interest. It has to do with national security and critical minerals and many other reasons, and we've long acknowledged that. I mean, it goes back to I think the Truman administration was the first president who expressed a direct interest in being involved there. We've had military operations there over the years. Some of it's been dormant in recent years, but it's a serious area on the globe with regard to our competition with China and Russia and some of our other people we would regard as adversaries on many of these issues. Greenland is of strategic importance, its geography and everything else. So look, again, you have to wait for that to play out. I'm going to leave it to the administration to articulate it how they will. But I think what the president is articulating is something that everybody objectively has to acknowledge, that Greenland has strategic significance to us and also to other countries around the world. So we need to play that very seriously.
Well, apparently today, Secretary Marco Rubio will be meeting with foreign ministers from Denmark and Greenland, and we'll see where this goes. The problem is that Denmark hasn't really done anything for Greenland, and quite frankly, can't. They just don't have the resources to do it. And there's not even a military protection. So Greenland's kind of sitting up there unprotected, has great resources. There are about 60,000 people in the population, but even that population can't take advantage of the natural resources. They just don't have the means to do it. The president, we kind of laugh about it, but the president thought, well, we'll just offer the citizens $100,000 and U.S. citizenship.
Okay, yeah.
Does he buy it? Does he pay Denmark a couple of $1 billion and tell them to go away?
Yeah, I think he's more likely to try that than some kind of interdiction, So
we'll see where it goes. All right, in the meantime, the administration yesterday is going to revoke the citizenship of any naturalized immigrant from Somalia or any other country who is convicted of defrauding our citizens. So if you're a foreigner, and you've been naturalized in the United States and you are part of defrauding the government, you will lose your naturalization citizenship.
Whoa, okay.
What do you think of that?
I think that's called for. I really do.
Does the members of the squad get caught up in this?
Well, they could. You never know. Yeah.
Okay.
Follow it. Yep.
The other one is that the president said no more payments to sanctuary cities and states who are harboring illegals. Well, guess who's the oldest sanctuary state in the country?
Hey, we're sitting in it.
We're sitting in it.
Yep.
What does this mean?
Yeah.
Here's what the president said.
We're giving 90-day notices to places like California, Scott. Right away, we're going to send out that notice. Who would bill the federal government as people poured into the state to send those people back because no country can afford to do it? No country can afford to take in millions of people, pay for their education, their health care, their hospitals. You just can't do it. And we all have a heart. You can't do it. But many of those people are murderers. They're people released from jails, prisons, mental institutions, insane asylums. They're people that are drug dealers. They're addicts. Additionally, starting February 1st, we're not making any payments to sanctuary cities or states having sanctuary cities because they do everything possible to protect criminals at the expense of American citizens, and it breeds fraud and crime and all of the other problems that come. So we're not making any payment to anybody that supports sanctuary cities.
This going to the courts?
Is it going to the courts?
Are we going to have rogue judges interdicting or intervening in this?
I guess the question has to be asked, are sanctuary cities and sanctuary states legal to begin with?
It's a big question. I don't know.
See, so, I don't know.
Has anybody challenged that?
What has a sanctuary city or state done for the citizens of the state other than take their tax dollars and support people who are non-contributors? So this is going to be a big deal. I expected the lawsuits to fly like crazy.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
But I don't know what to say about it, you know. So anyway, that's kind of what's going on. We're on the hunt.
Okay, so do you think, we're talking about the lawyering of this, you think this could go all the way to the Supreme Court?
Well, it'll try.
It'll try. And speaking of the Supreme Court, they're in the middle of one right now.
Yesterday was amazing.
Well, it was amazing where they're looking at the, transgender issue in girls' sports. And we have states that basically are being sued because they block boys from competing in girls' sports. Now, sometimes we get some indication on the questioning from the justices about which way they're thinking on this. And it seems that they're thinking that that there is no place for boys in girls' sports. What do you think?
A couple of dozen states have passed policies that they will not allow boys to play in girls' sports, and that's the essence of the case. And so, in listening to some, but not all of the arguments yesterday, the most defining moment is when the attorney representing the transgenders came out. But during the Q&A with the Supreme Court of the justices on the court, he could not define a boy or a girl.
Right, or what girls or boys sports were.
He could not define.
Exactly.
And here he is, their attorney representing their side. It was so bad that he had to leave the court under escort. I would even imagine his own side went crazy with that.
Oh, yeah.
But,
yes.
The bottom line is that this is so unnatural. I don't know why. Isn't it interesting? There's only two genders, male and female. Right. It's in the animal world, it's in the plant world, and it's in the human world. But only the humans are smart enough to think that they can change it.
Right. I'm shocked, Perry, that this has made it all the way to the Supreme Court, and there are probably more than one Supreme Court justices who are going to agree that boys should be in girls' sport. The world is turning upside down.
Well, I'm glad it's there.
Yeah.
The scary part is, what if they approve it? It doesn't appear it's going that way. It looks like it could be a 6-3 vote.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
There are many people and many conservative people who oppose Donald Trump running for president, who are not for him, who are anti-Trumpers. And many people have said, look at the Supreme Court, especially in his first term. Look at the Supreme Court. Look at what is at stake here. And this is one of those things that was at stake. And if it hadn't been for Donald Trump being in office in his first term, we wouldn't have these justices there. This wouldn't be happening.
Yeah, that's a great point. I don't know. We'll see where it goes. Let's just assume for a moment that they approve the states to enforce their policy.
Yeah, okay.
So they vote in favor of not allowing boys into the girls' sports.
Yes.
And you know what? That's the easy way out.
Yeah.
Because it becomes a state issue and not a federal issue.
Exactly, yes.
So it's possible in Oregon
that we would allow it.
We would allow it.
Right, it is possible.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you got all that nonsense going on.
Right, but the good thing is that will at least be decided that if they decide to ban boys from girls' sports, that ban is allowed by the Supreme Court.
Yes.
Yes, but you're right. I don't think
then
Oregon
it goes
would
to
go
the
for
state, kind of like the abortion issue. It goes to the state and let the states fight it out.
Yes.
So we have a crack in our state, and boy, I hope we take advantage of it. But the other question is, will this open up the door for reconsideration of same-sex marriages?
I wonder.
Yeah, interesting
I wonder.
stuff.
Yeah.
All right, a lot on the table these days, but no pastrami sandwich here. We'll be right back.
Since 1934, Grange Co-op has been more than just a store. We've been a cornerstone of our community, owned by people like you. We proudly offer top-quality farm and ranch supplies, including our own Rogue feed, as well as workwear, Western apparel, garden essentials, and pet care products. By signing up as a Grange Rewards customer, you not only enjoy exclusive benefits like special offers and 1% back on most purchases, but you also become part of something bigger, a cooperative that you own and help shape. Join Grange Rewards today.
I'm gonna let it shine, gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, gonna let it shine. Oh, shine.
Come fall in love with Northridge Senior Living, where contemporary, sunlit interiors meet old-world elegance. Walk through our lovely hallways and enjoy the fun staff-led activities. Forge lasting friendships with other residents and our exceptional caregivers. Dine in style. Gather near the fireplace under breathtaking chandeliers. Our reasonably priced apartments are spacious with private balconies. Northridge is Christian-owned and operated, pet-friendly, and only 2 blocks from Asante Rogue Regional Medical Center. On-site, in-home care is available. We also offer senior adult daycare, where your loved one can spend the day with us and the evenings with you. Northridge Senior Living. Your home.
Welcome back. Happy Frozen Tuesday.
Yeah.
23 minutes past the hour. Pretty icy out there. Drive carefully, and hopefully it'll clear up. It does, usually late afternoon or early afternoon. Finally, the sun pokes through. Then you can see the stagnant air. We have stagnant air warnings out there, so the air quality is not good, so be careful out there. A couple of stories. One is that it's just kind of an industry story. It's been in the news, and of course, tweaks my interest because it deals with, broadcasting to a degree. But Paramount is escalating its high-stakes bid for Warner Brothers Discovery, taking the fight from the boardroom to the courtroom. As millions of Americans watch this closely, what is happening is that they're seeking to force Warner to disclose the details of financial deals behind the blockbuster deal with Netflix. So Warner is trying to buy Netflix, okay? And Paramount is saying, wait a minute, is this secretly creating an antitrust deal or a monopoly deal? And so they're asking the court to reveal the financial dealings of the deal. This is interesting to me. A deal's a deal. Why should, why should somebody sue me for buying your car and I have to know how much I paid for it?
Yeah.
Anyway, it's a big deal, but this does bring to the light something, folks, that I've been watching behind the scenes quite often. The consolidation of big companies and the consolidation of small companies being taken over by big companies. It's a big move in America these days, and it's a lot that has to do with media. So it's a big item I keep my eye on because it involves what we do. All right, the other one is, this is kind of interesting. Let's go over the mountain pass here a little bit. Go past up over the hill over into Klamath Basin. Oregon Tech has taken a major step towards launching a new Bachelor's of Science degree in Artificial Intelligence. With the university trustees approving the program during its December meeting, the proposal also received approval from the statewide Provost Council, which includes provosts from the Oregon's 7 public universities, Oregon Health and Science University, and the program will now move through the review process at the Higher Education Coordinating Commission and the Northwest Commission on Colleges and University, that you can go to the Oregon Tech in Klamath Falls and get a degree in AI.
This is kind of surprising. So how do you do it? Does AI do your course study work for you?
So are you going to get a degree in doing nothing?
No, yeah. I mean, how does that work?
Well, I will say this. AI is very complicated.
Yeah.
It's all over the place.
Yeah.
Companies are involved in it. It is the future. It is here, and it's being used. And sooner or later, it was the president of Google that came out and said, if you're getting a degree in software development, it's going to be worthless. Because AI is going to develop software, and then they go into what they call hack tanks.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
So a company will ask AI to develop a software for them, and then they put the software in a kind of a hack tank with a bunch of techies in there, and they try to hack their own thing. And if they can, then they work on it until it can't be hacked. So normally, if you had some students over here writing software programs, AI is going to take your job. So anyway, you can go to Oregon Tech in Klamath Falls and get a degree in AI.
Wow.
Kind of interesting, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know where all that goes. All right, let's take a look at Wall Street for a Tuesday morning. And thank you, Preston. It's Smart Lawn. You don't need an AI to be smart as Preston. The Dow continues to not be happy. It's down 218 points. The NAS is down 318 points, and the S&P's off 58, almost 59 points. I think this has a lot to do with the unrest, not only in Minnesota, but up in
You know what
in
else
Ireland.
I heard it mentioned? That there's a little unease because of the investigation into Jerome Powell.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is not good.
Yeah.
We'll come back to that.
Okay.
Gold's up to 46.21. Look at this. Silver, $91 an ounce. Oh, my stars. Crude oil, back up. $64.60 a barrel. All right, to your point, Jerome Powell has been subpoenaed by the DOJ to testify.
Right.
And it's primarily, now, this is interesting. It has to do with the building.
Yeah, it has to do with the renovation, right.
And the renovation has gone way, way over
budget, yes.
Remember when the president and Jerome Powell walked through the pulls out
he
his little
whipped
slip of
out the
paper?
list, yes.
So what is suspected here is that there were overpayments with kickbacks.
Okay.
I don't know that.
All right.
Okay, but because he is who he is, it's upset and created instability in the market.
Right.
Now, Jerome Powell will be out of a job in May. And whoever's going to head up the feds, we don't know yet, but that's still to be nominated.
Yeah.
But, yeah, this has created an
This is not
instability.
good.
This is not good.
Yeah, this is not good.
So, anyway.
Okay, well, I got something for you. I actually have two things because Pam weighed in. You've been asking if Pam picks out my clothes.
Yeah.
Does she lay them out for me? So I send her a text. I said, do you pick out my clothes every day? And she laughed. She goes, yeah, because I buy them all. And that's true. I get stuff all the time. It's like, oh, this is nice, honey. Where'd you get? Oh, don't worry. Just try it on. What do you think? I get
Well, she is dressing me.
She is dressing me. I didn't even put that together. All right, moving on. We talked about this the other day, the operation in Venezuela, and the overpowering force that U.S. forces went into that operation with. And we've been hearing something about like these sonic waves, these things that incapacitated the other combatants. Well, citing the extremely painful and nauseating sonic weapons used by the U.S. military during the Maduro raid, Fox Business's Stuart Varney asked Congressman Darrell Issa about these weapons.
Well, there's some thank you for that question. There's some sonic technology that's manufactured right in San Diego, and it's used by the Coast Guard and so on. And it can be used anywhere from long-range talking to painful to even the symptoms you said. And it's one of the many non-lethal tools the United States had. In this case, it saved a great many lives by disabling rather than simply shooting or blowing up many of the guards. So these non-lethal, non-kinetic weapons are part of the growing arsenal that President Trump is leading to make sure that our troops have.
Wow.
Okay, so what does it do?
I think it incapacitates them. In fact, now I don't know this to be true, but one of the reports that I read about is it actually incapacitated them to the point where they were bleeding from their mouths, their nose, and their ears.
Okay, so does it work on the nervous system?
I think so.
Okay.
I don't know.
I wonder if our voices do that to people when they watch the show.
You know, it's... What a thought. Because remember, we've drawn some analogies between this operation in Venezuela and what happened in Panama with Noriega. Remember, Noriega went into a residence, I think, of a priest, and he had sanctuary in there. They wouldn't go in and get him. But they sent up speakers, and they started playing like Ozzy Osbourne, Black Sabbath, and stuff like that on 11. Turned it up to 11. And I thought, Ozzy Osbourne or sonic waves, what's the difference? I don't know.
Well, wow.
Yeah, I don't know.
Technology. All right, 28 minutes before the hour. We're going to take a quiet break.
Yes.
A ministry moment on the Dove.
For some people, the single greatest discouraging factor in their life is their perceived lack of forward movement in God. There are many Christians that feel stagnant, and they're generally self-condemned. They don't need the devil to condemn them, they're self-condemned. Let me assure you, my friend, the Lord is not through with you. He is working in you. Philippians 1:6 says, being confident of this very thing, that he who has begun a good work in you will complete it until the day of Jesus Christ. He's begun the work. He'll carry it on until the day of Christ's return. He's not going to give up on you. He's not going to cast you aside. Psalm 138 and verse 8 says, the Lord will perfect that which concerns me.
A ministry moment on the Dove.
Finding that next great series to binge watch is fun, but your neck, shoulders, and body don't count that as me time. Hi, I'm Tamara Miller, owner of Organic Element Spa, and I invite you to put down the remote, get off the couch, and schedule yourself some real me or we time with your favorite service, like one of our many massages, couples massages, or facials. Your health, safety, and comfort are always top priority with us at Organic Element Spa. We can't wait to see you. Book your appointment today.
Combining your home and auto insurance could save you time and money. And who doesn't like that? Want surprisingly great rates on auto, home, and life? Now's the time to call State Farm agent Rory Wold in Medford.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Welcome back on your Tuesday morning, 25 minutes now before the hour on a very, very icy morning in some places, ice fog. Be careful out there. All eyes are on Iran. How brutal is the pushback from the government, from the regime to the people? Millions of people are taken to the streets. The reports coming out are pretty bad. And what's next? So let's check in with CBN Newswatch and find out.
This is CBN Newswatch.
Thank you so much for joining us. We want to begin this half hour with President Trump's promise to Iranians that help is on the way. Now the world is watching to see how the president responds to cries for help from Iran as the government is brutally attacking the protesters. Chris Mitchell brings us the story now. He's reporting from Jerusalem.
President Trump delivered a message to the protesters on the streets of Iran.
Keep protesting. Take over your institutions if possible, and save the name of the killers and the abusers that are abusing you. You're being very badly abused. And I've canceled all meetings with the Iranian officials until the senseless killing of protesters stops. And all I say to them is help is on its way.
The president is meeting with his advisors to discuss a number of options. Some believe that help on the way may include military, cyber, and psychological attacks aimed at the regime's leaders and the infrastructure carrying out the massacre of protesters.
They need the help of the United States to get over the finish line, to take this revolution to a place where it would be meaningful, would actually topple the regime. Again, they do not have weapons. They don't have any formal organization on the ground.
While the protesters look for help, human rights groups say more than 2,500 are known dead, but some estimates put the deaths over 10,000. Iranian pastor Ara Tarozian played this message he received from an Iranian family to CBN's Raj Nir.
He said Arash was alone. With the shotgun, they start shooting him. And his cousin tried to take him back, but he couldn't do it. And they couldn't take the hospital, and he died on the hand of his father.
There are also concerns the government will begin executing protesters in custody, including 26-year-old Irfan Soltani, who is facing death by hanging. The war within the war is over the internet. For several days, the regime has shut it down, limiting the protesters' ability to organize, coordinate, and show the outside world what's happening. Some are using Elon Musk's Starlink to get the word out, but the regime is searching for those users to shut them down. The U.S. and at least 9 other nations are telling their citizens to get out of Iran immediately, while Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and Oman are warning Trump not to intervene. The protesters are rallying around the son of the former Shah of Iran, Reza Pahlavi. Reportedly, he's met with Trump's special envoy, Steve Witkoff. On his Facebook page, he encouraged Iranians to continue the fight, promised those responsible for the massacres will be prosecuted, and sent a message to Iranian security forces.
You are the national military of Iran, not the military of the Islamic Republic. You have a duty to protect the lives of your compatriots. You do not have much time. Join them as soon as possible.
He also addressed the Jerusalem prayer breakfast held at Mar-a-Lago this week.
We need your prayers more than ever to make sure that this does happen. And we will do our part. And I appreciate your solidarity and support. Thank you, my friends. And hopefully we'll have the next prayer breakfast in Tehran once liberated. And we will welcome you with open arms.
Incredible reporting. Chris joins us now with more. So, Chris, what are you hearing from Iranian officials?
Well, they seem to be doubling down, if not tripling down, Ephraim. They're saying anyone present on the streets from January 8th is a criminal. The punishments for people will vary from person to person. What we have heard, and we've reported on this before, actually, people coming into hospitals with gunshot wounds are assumed to be in the protests, and they're being arrested, not treated in those hospitals. The head of judiciary is justifying the death penalty, and we talked about that 26-year-old who may face that
death penalty today. They're talking about executions for those involved in the protests. Many people really see this as a sign of weakness in the regime. And we also understand that the Iranian security forces are deliberately firing at the protesters' heads and eyes, causing debilitating injuries. Doctors reporting hundreds of eye and head wounds. They're firing metal pellets at the protesters, deliberately trying to damage the head and the eyes. And Ephraim, this is the same thing they did when they were protests on the streets in 2022.
Well, okay. Here's a question. It would seem to me we got military operations, as we speak, on the move. Why isn't it showing up in the news?
Oh, I don't know.
We know we got aircrafts on the move.
Right.
We probably have a Navy on the move.
Well,
you know, there's got to be movement out there. I mean, the last strike, I realized, they take off from Kansas and 13 hours later they bomb Iran.
Yeah.
And maybe that's what's happening. It seems like to me there's got to be high alert going on somewhere around the world. And I'm just kind of curious why we don't know about it.
But let me ask you this.
But that's part of the operation. You shouldn't know about it.
Right. Well, exactly. That's my point. If you were commander-in-chief, would you let any of the news organizations know what you're doing?
No.
I wouldn't. No way.
It's the element of surprise.
Absolutely.
Okay. Right. You're talking about a surprise.
Oh, no.
Every day is a surprise. Here it is.
A look at our weather from Grange Co-op. High pressure continues with air stagnation, so today in northern Oregon and southern Washington, early patchy fog before 1 p.m., then clearing to mostly sunny with highs in the low 50s for Vancouver, Portland, Wilsonville, and McMinnville. Moving down the Willamette Valley with dense fog, gradually clearing to mostly sunny with daytime high temperatures in the upper 40s for Salem, Albany, Corvallis, and Eugene, with lows tonight in the mid-30s. Sunny skies over central Oregon with highs in the low 60s around Prineville, upper 50s in Bend and mid-50s around Sun River. Over in Boise, Idaho, patchy morning fog, then sunny with a high near 41. Along the Oregon coast, patchy fog before 1 p.m., then sunny in mid-50s in Coos Bay, but sunny from Port Orford through Brookings and Crescent City, California, with daytime high temperatures in the low 60s. In southern Oregon, patchy morning fog for Grants Pass and Medford, then clearing to sunny with highs in the mid to upper 40s, sunny in mid-50s in Ashland, and sunshine for Klamath Falls with a high near 49. Into northern California, patchy fog, then sunny in Wairika with a high near 50, sunny skies with highs in the upper 60s in Redding and low 60s in Chico, patchy fog, then mostly sunny and near 57 in Sacramento. In the Bay Area, patchy fog for Santa Rosa and Napa, then clearing to sunny and low to mid-60s. Sunny in San Francisco with a high near 61 and a light northeast wind. And today in San Jose, sunny and near 68. It's a snapshot of your Wednesday weather from Grange Co-op.
A little bit of a shot to the northeast this morning, so it looks nice that way. When the camera pans a little bit to the left, it'll come back down on the valley, and you'll see the patches of fog, actually a big patch of fog at the north end of the valley right on the ground, looking out our window here. But it does kind of break up around noon or so, you know, but it's pretty cold tonight. And here's the other thing, stagnant air, so be careful out there.
Yep. All right. Well, they sang some of the biggest hits of the 1960s, and they performed their last concert on this day in history. On January 14, 1970, the curtain closed on one of the most successful pop groups of all time. Diana Ross and the Supremes performed their final concert at the Frontier Hotel in Las Vegas. With 12 #1 hits, the Supremes helped define the sound of the 1960s, second only to Elvis Presley and the Beatles in chart dominance during rock and roll's first full decade. But behind the glitter, tensions had been building for years. The group began as childhood friends Mary Wilson, Florence Ballard, and Diana Ross, then known as the Primettes, growing up together in Detroit. Their breakthrough came in 1964 with Where Did Our Love Go?, launching a historic run of 5 #1 hits in under a year. As Motown chief Berry Gordy positioned Diana Ross for a solo career, the group's dynamic changed. Lineup shifts followed, and by late 1969, the breakup became official.
That final Las Vegas performance marked the end of an era and the beginning of Diana Ross's solo superstardom, closing the chapter on a group that helped shape American pop music forever.
Hi.
Baby.
He was actually dancing.
I love go. Now, don't forget, now this is amazing. Diana Ross and the Supremes, they had one of the biggest hits in the mid-'60s when they came in '64. Diana Ross just sang and rocking in the Dick Clark's, rocking in the New Year's in Times Square for 2026. Diana Ross sang at it.
Really?
Yes. Oh, my goodness. Talk about longevity. Woo!
All right, so do you sing that to Pam?
I have.
Okay, good stuff all the way around. All right, I got in trouble how I set up this next story, so I won't do it again.
Oh, no.
But Michael Lawrence of Crossway is talking about making decisions.
Okay. Okay. All right.
If you saw the first hour,
Yeah.
you know why. Anyway, and what does it mean when Jesus called you to repent and believe?
When Jesus called us to repent and believe, he was calling us to follow him. And certainly that involves a decision. I'm not going to follow the other things that I was following, and instead, I'm going to follow Jesus. But we should be careful not to reduce repenting and believing to a mere decision. Oftentimes, we make all sorts of decisions that really amount to nothing more than lifestyle choices. Repenting and believing, following Jesus, is not a lifestyle choice. It is coming under his lordship. It is dying to myself and giving myself wholly to him. So repenting and believing is something we need to do. And in that sense, it could be a decision. But it could never be a mere decision because it's the giving of my life to him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let it stand on its own 2 feet. Yeah. The decision has to be intentional,
Mm-hmm.
and it has to be authentic.
Yeah. Yes. The author, the guy who wrote Dilbert, just passed away.
Mm.
And he was a lifelong atheist.
Yes.
And he wrote before his death that he had assessed the risk and rewards of accepting Jesus. And he said, I think it's worth the risk and rewards. And so he gave his life to the Lord. And I thought, who's going to, well, this is up to the Lord to judge. Is this authentic or not?
Well, see, that's God's business.
Yes.
You'll be known by your fruits, and your fruits are the clear indicator of who you really are inside.
Okay. Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Right.
So
we know we're not saved by works, but works are a great reflection of if we are really walking with the Lord. Great point.
You could be saved if you brought us a
pastrami sandwich.
Yes.
Okay. Oh man!
Did I say that?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I did.
I heard it.
Panoramic Moto Tours was born really out of my passion just to ride Grace back roads and the scenic highways in our beautiful Northwest. God put it on my heart to share the experiences and invite others. More than riding beautiful roads, it's the camaraderie and fellowship. It's hearing each other's stories. It's being mutually encouraged on our journeys of life.
Riders can book one of our ready-to-ride guided tours offering the best of Oregon or Northern California. Or book a private custom tour tailored just for your group to destinations like Glacier or Yellowstone. For more information, go to
panoramicmototours.com or call me, Nick, at 541-622-3844. When you find something you love, you just want to share it.
panoramicmototours.com. Your next adventure starts here.
The Lennox iComfort S30 thermostat can sense changes in your environment. It even knows when you come and go. So now your home's most important system is also the smartest.
Metal Masters can give you the smartest home comfort system available. It knows when you're away and adjusts when allergens and humidity get uncomfortable. Trust Metal Masters to provide perfect air for your family.
Lennox, air is life. Make it perfect.
At Sweet Tea Express, we've got you covered. Order at the counter and our friendly service staff will do the rest. Burgers, salads, sandwiches, barbecue platters, sides, and more. Smoked, grilled, and served to perfection. Sweet Tea Express. Breakfast, burgers, and barbecue.
Hi, I'm the SOS Alarm guy, here to tell you about a great deal. SOS Alarm will not only beat any internet deal, but will install the system too. So burglars, beware. SOS Alarm for security and beyond.
All right, good morning to you. Well, Iran very much in the news these days, and what's going to go on? Well, an Iranian immigrant and investor and CEO of a company here, and his name is Servin Pasavera, if I pronounced that right.
Close enough.
Close enough.
Yeah.
He discusses how the president's move to counter Iran's internet shutdown and the country's liberation plan. He discussed that on Mornings with Maria on Fox.
The Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi, he is the declared leader of the people, and it's time to, recognize him as the leader officially, form an interim government, do this transition process. It's time to act and cut off the head of the snake in Iran. And what will happen is, I'm telling you, I'm manifesting this. 50 million plus Iranians will come in the streets after that is done. We need help from the air, not just the Starlinks that I started to smuggle into Iran for the protesters, these freedom technologies, so that we can communicate. We can see these videos that are coming out. We can see what the real facts are on the street. It's time to act. And the vision I'm saying is there will be 50 million people in the streets celebrating with the new Iranian flag, with the Israeli flags, with American flags, saying thank you to America, thank you to Israel.
So you smuggled into Iran Starlink. Tell us what
back
you
in
just
2022. I was inspired by, I'm a tech investor and I invest in technologies. I invested in Elon and SpaceX many years ago when it was a much smaller company. And one of the things that I talked about all the way back to 2010 was that the last bastion of dictatorship is the router, that we need to use satellites to bring internet. The first thing dictators do is they shut down the router. I said this to the Secretary of State back then in a dinner with Jack Dorsey, the founder of Twitter, and with the CEO of Google, Eric Schmidt. And they loved the idea. I flew into Benghazi during 2 weeks before Gaddafi was killed. Flew into Tahrir Square. The same thing has happened now. We've been in a blackout, internet blackout. Elon and SpaceX, the president just yesterday asked Elon for even more help. But I organized out of a rebel group and flew to SpaceX, bought the first Starlinks to come into Iran. At the time, there were only 9 Starlinks then.
So he and I were just talking about this.
Yes.
So what if Elon was called in to put more Starlinks over the top, and the president makes a deal, a bulk deal on routers, and just drops them in there to the citizens?
Right.
And it sounds like that's exactly what he's doing.
Exactly what he was talking about.
Well, they can't handle that.
No.
That'll keep the protests going.
Right. That's just like opening a Pandora's box of actual information to the people of Iran. And look out.
That is huge.
Oh, my goodness.
Absolutely huge.
Wow.
Well, coming up, Professor Murray Sabrin will be with us. Dr. Sabrin is a emeritus professor of finance there at the college in New Jersey. And we'll be discussing a lot of the, economic headlines. So many mixed signals out there. Mm-hmm. I've had so many people on, and I can't get 2 of them to say, yep. It's kind of like, a little bit here, but no there, a little bit no there, here, and I kind of, okay. So anyway, it's time for him to weigh in.
Yeah. All
okay.
Right. Find out.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sure he likes pastrami sandwiches.
Okay. Well, 2 toddlers are safe today thanks to the quick instincts of a Florida man who refused to look the other way.
John Brittingham was driving along busy A1A in Brevard County, Florida, when he spotted 2 very young girls standing in the middle of traffic, one already in the roadway, and he didn't hesitate. Brittingham slammed on the brakes, jumped out of his car, and with one hand stopped oncoming vehicles. With the other, he scooped up one toddler, then the second, pulling both to safety in just seconds. The dramatic rescue was captured on his dash cameras. Later, Brittingham said seeing the girls reaching out with their little arms was something he'll never forget. Still holding the children, he searched nearby homes and eventually found their family, who had no idea the toddlers had slipped through an open gate. Only afterward did the adrenaline wear off. Brittingham says he went home exhausted, but grateful he was there at exactly the right moment.
Oh, my goodness. And it can happen so fast, all parents, grandparents, we've seen that, it's like, where are the kids? What happened? Where are they? And you turn around and, man, they have those little legs and they're gone.
Boy. Wasn't that just about stop your heart?
Yeah, but what a great reaction from this guy. And I love it, too. Like, he's out in the middle of the roadway. He's stopping traffic. And as he goes to scoop them up, they look up at him, and they put their arms up. It's like, wonderful. Take me. Rescue me.
You ever see the guy out stopping traffic because Mother Duck was leading her little ducklings across?
Oh, I love those. Oh, yes.
But boy, 2 baby girls like that?
Oh, gosh.
Wow.
Oh.
Here's a great scripture for you today. Think about this one. It's found in the book of Ephesians chapter 4, verses 31 and 32. Get rid of all bitterness, rage, anger, brawling, and slander, along with every form of malice. Hey, that's headlines today.
It is.
Okay?
Yeah.
Be kind and compassionate to one another. Forgive each other, just as Christ, God, has forgiven you. Mm-hmm. And pray for America at noon today, as Franklin Graham is calling America to repent and ask God to help us.
Hi, I'm Sherry Breslin with Rogue Valley Security. Whether it's alarms, cameras, keyless entry, or even Starlink, we tailor solutions for your home or business. We believe in professionalism, excellence, and integrity. Every job, every time. Visit RogueValleySecurity.com.
A ministry moment on the Dove.
And are you willing to say yes to the claims of Christ, that He is the Son of God, and that you want Him to come into your heart and forgive your sins, and you want to know it? Oh, I know. Many of you have been baptized and confirmed. Most of you perhaps are members of some church, or you're identified with a church, or maybe you go to church 2 or 3 times a year. I don't know whether you do or not, but I'm sure a lot of you do. But you're not sure. You couldn't stand here tonight and say, I know my sins are forgiven. I know I'm going to heaven. God is willing to forgive all your past tonight because of the cross. God is willing to say, I forgive you, because He loves you. And God is interested in you as though you were the only person in the whole world. And you can receive Him tonight.
You feel most alive where you feel most at home. And this is living. Bobcat, the company that changed the way the world works, is coming home with a quality compact tractor built to match your quality of life. This isn't work you have to do. It's work you get to do. So get it done in a tractor that's all you. See your dealer or visit bobcat.com.
Experience evangelism like never before with the award-winning Way of the Master, Thursday and Friday on the Dove TV.
welcome to Focus Today. I'm your host, Perry Atkinson, and I have my Make America Financially Independent hat on today because I am so excited to have with us Dr. Murray Sabrin. He's the Emeritus Professor of Finance there at Ramapo College in New Jersey. He's the author of several books, including his own autobiography, which is a fascinating read, From Immigrant to Public Intellectual, an American Story. There's a picture of the cover of the book. He does have a connection point, Murray Sabrin, SABRIN.substack.com. And you, too, can go there and get your MAFI hat like I'm wearing right here. Dr. Sabrin, Happy New Year, buddy. Good to see you.
Happy New Year. You're looking very stylish here in the Northwest.
Well, I want you to know it's not every day that I wear the other guy's hat.
You can see the black and gold represents gold for the gold standard, and green represents for the depreciating greenbacks that we have to hold.
Okay, well, there it is. And you can get one of these hats by going to MurraySabrinSubstack.com. Good to see you, friend. Happy New Year. Always an honor to have you with us today. So much going on. I just kind of want to start our conversation. What's the deal with the president's feud with the Fed chair?
Oh, boy. As you know, I've been writing about the Federal Reserve since the 1970s. I wrote my dissertation in the 1980s about inflation, and I've been a critic, as others have been over the years, of the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve is the engine of inflation. The president wants interest rates, short-term interest rates, to be 1%. You know what that means, Perry? It means that we really get shafted. By that I mean, if you're in a money market fund and let's say you have $1,000, you're getting around 3%, 3.5% today. If that goes down to 1%, that means you're losing $25 a year in interest. But some people have a lot of money in a money market fund because they're afraid of investing in the stock market, which is a big mistake. We can get into that in a little bit. But the point is, every president wants low interest rates. Nixon wanted it in 1971, 72 for his reelection. The president wants it because he thinks it will boost the economy, which it will in the short term. But there's always a price to pay for artificially depressing interest rates, and that is a recession down the road. So the president is playing with fire when he's calling for the Fed to drop interest rates. And here's the interesting thing, Perry. When you watch the financial news shows, you have analysts from Wall Street and outside Wall Street talking about interest rates. And they always talk about how the long-term interest rates are set by the market. Well, if the market sets long-term interest rates, namely supply and demand for credit, then why shouldn't the market set interest rates at the short end of the market? 1 month, 3 month, 1 year treasury bills. So there seems to be a disconnect between their approach to interest rates, that somehow, some reason, the Federal Reserve should be managing short-term interest rates. And this is an outgrowth of the Great Depression. This is an outgrowth of the economic philosophy that's been around for decades, that the federal government can manage the economy to have successful outcomes. And all the evidence we have for the past several hundred years, if not longer, is that the government cannot manage the economy. The marketplace, the free enterprise system, is the best way to produce goods and services that the people want.
Has the Fed's been too late in raising rates and too late in lowering rates?
See, I don't look at it that way, Perry. I look at the Federal Reserve is manipulating interest rates, which it shouldn't be doing. When inflation hit 9% a few years ago, the Fed was slow in raising interest rates to really get inflation out of the system, but it didn't do that. Inflation came down from 9% to where it is around 3% today because the Federal Reserve tightened money and credit conditions, but for a very brief period. When Volcker came in 1979, when we were running at double-digit inflation, interest rates went up to 21%, and the inflation rate went from 12% to 3% in 2-3 years. So you've got to raise interest rates well above the rate of inflation to stifle the inflation that's in the system because of the previous money printing that went on. So again, the Fed is always trying to manage the economy by raising rates, by lowering rates, and all it does is create the boom-bust cycle. And here's my book, Navigating the Boom-Bust Cycle. There it is, and with the red arrow going down. I wrote that several years ago to give people an understanding of how this transpires, that this is not a natural phenomenon. It's a man-made, government-created phenomenon of lowering and raising interest rates. And the Fed, I think, has a mischaracterization of the economy, that they think they're necessary in order for the economy to grow over time. And that's not the case. The way the economy grows over time is through savings and investment. That's capital formation. That's what provides entrepreneurs with the tools necessary to produce the goods and services that we all want. It's that simple, Perry. Government cannot create a good economy. If that was the case, the Soviet Union would still exist. Cuba would be a great economy. Argentina would have a great economy because the government was so heavily involved in trying to manage the economy by spending and printing money. And that is a fool's errand.
That's very interesting. One other part of this story, I realize this sounds a little opinionated or perhaps even political, but it appears to me that the feud with the president and now with the DOJ subpoenaing him to come, that's primarily over the overrides of the building, but it also is intimidation of the person. And looking at it this morning, the market doesn't like this at all. And I'm trying to figure out what's the big deal when we get a new chairman, whoever it's going to be, in May.
Well, this is the whole point. The chairman only has one vote, Perry. This is I think the fallacy that Trump is under, that if he has someone who likes what he thinks regarding monetary policy, the other members of the Federal Open Market Committee that set interest rates are going to acquiesce to a chairman that wants lower interest rates. And so you could have a very destabilizing, contentious FOMC meetings. They meet every 6 weeks. The next one is coming at the end of this month, and Powell will still be there. But politics has always been injected in the Federal Reserve's decision making. It's never been an independent agency. It's always been an agency that sort of bends to the will of the president. It did so under Arthur Burns when he was chairman, when Nixon was president, William McChesney Martin under LBJ, who intimidated William McChesney Martin in the 1960s to lower interest rates. Presidents do this either openly, like Trump does, or through back channels. But the point is, presidents want low interest rates because that gives a stimulus, a high, if you will, to the economy. But as we know, when you have too much to drink and you're a little bit tipsy, there is always a hangover. And that's exactly what happens in an economy.
Well said. Bottom line, we don't need the feds, right?
Absolutely not. The country did quite well without the Federal Reserve. We did have banking panics throughout the 19th century. That's because the banks were operating, and they still operate, under a flawed business model, which is borrow short and lend long. If everyone who saw It's a Wonderful Life repeated for the millionth time in November and December, they saw there was a run on the Bailey Savings and Loan, because the Bailey Savings and Loan didn't have the money of the depositors. That money was already loaned out. So the banks borrow short and lend long, and that is the Achilles heel of the financial system, especially the banks.
What's driving the mortgage rates these days?
Well, it's supply and demand. And now the federal government is going to be more heavily involved in the mortgage market because Trump says he wants Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, the two government-created agencies that buy mortgages from the banks, to buy more mortgages from the banks. So there'll be more money put into the real estate sector, and that, of course, will drive up prices. When we had 3% mortgage rates a few years ago, people were buying houses hand over fist, because who could not resist a 3% mortgage for 15 or 30 years? I forgot exactly where the 30-year mortgage was or the 15-year, but the rates were down to 3%, I think even lower for the 15-year mortgage. That is basically free money, because right now inflation is running around 3%. If you're borrowing at 3%, that's basically a 0% real interest rate. And real interest rates are an important component of the credit markets.
More and more banks are dropping their mortgage department. They're just not making any money on it. In fact, those who remain will put together your mortgage, and within a week they sell it. What's going on?
Yep.
What's going on?
Well, they don't want to be holding the risk of higher interest rates in the future, which is going to happen, because if you start printing money now, and the Fed already announced it's going to buy $20 billion of government securities each month, that's going to inject more money into the system, and that's going to drive up prices down the road. So, again, what we need to do is realize that the Federal Reserve cannot provide us with prosperity. Prosperity comes from the free enterprise system, not government spending or the Federal Reserve. And banks, I think the smart people in the banks realize this, and that's why they're selling off their mortgages as quickly as possible.
All right, let's switch gears a little bit here. Dr. Sabrin, we all watch with amazement what happened in Venezuela. What's the economic impact that on the United States?
That is a really good question. You know why? Because the oil companies are very hesitant to go to Venezuela because in order to resurrect their oil production, they've got to spend a ton of money, and they're uncertain about the future, where the price will be, how much the cost will be to get the oil out of the ground. And remember, Venezuela oil is heavy oil, so it has to be processed more so than the light oil that we have in the United States. So again, another example of the government trying to manage a sector of the economy, the oil sector. And again, the men and women who work in the oil companies, they're best able to handle where oil can be drilled, how much they should invest. It's not up to the government or the president to determine that. It's up to the companies. They're trained, they're entrepreneurs, they're trained to do this. And if we had the government get out of the way of oil, medicine, education, housing, we would be in much better shape than we are today, where the government is trying to micromanage every sector of the economy.
To that point, the president's saying, all right, well, we're opening up for these oil companies to go back in there and regain their losses. But it also appears to me that their loss is so great. Why would they invest again into a situation that's so unstable?
Well, the old adage is, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. And that's what we're seeing here. I mean, there's plenty of oil around the world that has more political stability than Venezuela. Guyana has a lot of oil. Other places around the world have oil. So let the entrepreneurs, the oil executives, find oil around the world. We're producing a lot of oil and natural gas. We're basically energy independent. And again, this is Trump's view of the world, that for some reason he thinks he can micromanage the oil sector and other sectors. And as I pointed out, this is the great fallacy of the politicians, not only in the United States, but around the world. This is what Professor Hayek called the fatal conceit, that people who put their pants on one leg at a time, what we do, don't have more insight. In fact, they have less insight about the economy than the men and women entrepreneurs of America.
So I want to bring the energy question back to home before I take a break. All right, so Venezuela's oil is, for the lack of anything else, is harder and takes more to refine it into usage than other oil. And we are losing refineries, especially here on the West Coast, like crazy, to the point California is importing oil. And yet you keep hearing the story that we have more oil reserves than anybody else, but it hasn't shown up in the price. What's your take?
Well, I think right now you're seeing so much uncertainty in the oil market. Prices have been creeping up, and oil companies would like to get a higher price, but the market won't allow them because there is so much supply. The question is, what will OPEC countries do in terms of pumping out oil to keep the price down or up, depending upon what their agenda is? And so, again, you have so much government intervention in the oil market, and it's been happening since the 1970s and prior, when we had the oil crisis after the Yom Kippur War in October 1973. And since then, the oil market has been going up and down. We reached $140 during the housing crisis in 2008. Just let the market keep prices where supply and demand are balanced without government intervention, and that will what economists call clear the market, and we will have a much better oil market, and entrepreneurs can plan what they believe the price of oil will be 5-10 years down the road, because you can't build these refineries overnight, and you can't retrofit them overnight. So they have to forecast what the price will be, and the more unknowns there are, the more difficult it is for them to plan, and therefore projects don't get done.
Interesting. All right, check out Dr. Murray's books at murraysabrin.substack.com. Several books there. And, hey, get yourself Make America Financially Independent hat. I got mine right here. I got a black one and a green one. Thank you, Dr. Sabrin. I have it on my desk. Good stuff. All right,
My pleasure.
Yeah, we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Heavenly Father, I just want to say thank you today. I don't want to pray just when I need something or when things aren't going my way. I need you all the time, no matter what is going on, and I just want to say thank you. Even though things aren't perfect, you are, and your plan for me is. Thank you for your grace, for your mercy, for your unconditional love for me, and most of all, thank you for sending your Son Jesus to die for my sins to prove that unconditional love, that even while I was a sinner, he died for me. Thank you. In Jesus' name, amen.
Twin Factor is brought to you on the Dove TV by Black Flag Armory. Firearms, gunsmithing, training, and the best prices in Southern Oregon. Twin Factor, weekends on the Dove TV.
Welcome back, and an honor to have back with us today Dr. Murray Sabrin. He's Emeritus Professor of Finance there at Ramapo College in New Jersey, author quite a few books that are just must-reads, including his own autobiography, From Immigrant to Public Intellectual. There's a picture of the cover of the book. Fascinating story. He does have a place where you can connect with him, murraysabrin.substack.com, and there's the picture of that landing page where you can check out the books, his articles, order a couple of the hats, Make America Financially Independent. Okay, Dr. Murray, so much to talk about. The president is saying that, and Secretary Bessent is saying 2026 is positioning to be a boom year. But our debt continues to rise. Okay, so maybe people are going to pay a little less taxes and they may get a $2,000 happy check from the government, but sooner or later this debt's going to eat us alive. I don't see a plan to pay it down, or am I missing something?
No, you're absolutely right, Perry. In fact, the Supreme Court hasn't issued their ruling yet on whether these tariffs are constitutional. And of course, from my perspective, there's no way they are constitutional because Article 1, Section 8 clearly states that it's up to the Congress to impose taxes and tariffs, and the president unilaterally cannot impose tariffs, because if you take that logic to its conclusion, then the president can change tax rates on his own. He has to go through Congress to change the tax rates as they passed in the so-called Big Beautiful Bill. The tax rates stayed the same from the 2017 tax bill. So again, I think the Supreme Court, and I hope it's a 9-0 decision that says that, listen, if you want to raise tariffs, go to Congress and make the case for the people's representatives to raise tariffs on them. And the president seems to think that foreign countries and foreign companies pay tariffs. No, they don't. The American people pay it either through their businesses or as consumers. So again, foreigners don't pay the tariff unless companies in America can get foreign companies to lower their prices in order for the tariff not to be impacted on their imports. Having said that, the debt situation is the 800-pound gorilla that no one wants to address in Washington, D.C., because if current trends continue, we're probably going to reach $50 trillion in debt by 2030 or 2031, somewhere in that range. Depends on how big the deficits will be over the next 4 or 5 years. And if you just assign a 4% interest rate to $50 trillion, then you're talking about $2 trillion a year in interest costs. And the deficit will be sky high. It could be a $3 trillion deficit. And so this is the reason, I believe, one of the reasons I believe that central banks around the world have been buying gold hand over fist over the last couple of years, because they realize the federal government's finances are out of whack. They're out of control. No one wants to cut back spending. They may cut back a program here or there, but the overall trend of spending, and now the president wants to increase the defense budget, the so-called defense budget, by 50%, which is just in a time of relative peace. Why would the president want to increase the defense budget by 50%? So again, you have the welfare warfare state firmly cemented in Washington, and that's driving spending, and without the American people paying the full bill today. And that's like parents going to their children and saying, we're going to spend more than we take in, but you're going to have to make up the difference. I mean, parents would be outraged. I mean, children would be outraged if their parents spent more than they earn, and the children would somehow have to make up the difference. Well, future generations are going to have to make up the difference, and that's why I think young people are really fed up with what's going on in Washington, because they know that the burden on them is going to be astronomical.
Could the note be called, or do we file bankruptcy?
Well, what could happen? No one has a crystal ball to know exactly what will happen. If I did that, that would be worth a lot of money to anyone who's managing money or has a big portfolio. What could happen is what happened in Argentina. The deficit becomes so great, there are not enough buyers for the debt, and then the Federal Reserve comes in and buys the debt and creates trillions of dollars, and then we're off to the races with inflation. That's what's happened in Argentina for several decades, and that's why they've had to devalue their currency many times over the last 50, 60, 70 years. That could happen in America. And right now, I think the president probably realizes that. And so that's why he's trying to figure out what to do. And that's why he's now saying there is an affordability crisis. And let's do something with housing. We need more supply to get housing prices down. He wants to cap credit card interest rates, which is another example of price controls, which is a failed policy wherever it's tried. And so instead of saying to the American people, being honest with the American people, you want us to spend $7 trillion a year? Well, we're going to have to tax you $7 trillion a year. We're only taxing you $5 trillion. That's why we have a $2 trillion deficit. So again, politicians on both sides of the aisle have really not told the American people the truth about the size and scope of the federal government and what it takes to pay for it. And so we're working under the assumption that we, quote, owe it to ourselves. No, we don't. We owe it to the Chinese, the Japanese, the South Koreans, the OPEC nations, the European nations who buy a lot of our debt. I think that will go away over the next several years. And then we're stuck with how does the federal government float $2 trillion or more of debt every single year?
Okay. So we've lost our courage to deal with the obvious.
Yep.
We now have discovered fraud is rampant in our country. I mean, just the Minnesota thing is just an example. They're saying it's $18 billion going higher. They say it could even be worse in California. And Secretary Bissett said the other day he's thinking now at least 10% of the government expenditure is stolen. In other words, it's tied up in fraud. If that was corrected and stopped, wouldn't that address the debt issue? I mean, isn't there enough money there to bring this thing down?
Well, the last time I looked, Medicaid is around $900 billion a year. So if 10% can be eliminated by getting rid of fraud, then you're talking about $90 billion a year. You still got a $2 trillion deficit. So it would be a first beginning. But I had a letter published in the Wall Street Journal last Friday, which is available on my website. And I pointed out that we need to get rid of the welfare state and have people in their local communities deal with their neighbors who are having tough times. That's what the nonprofit sector, that's what philanthropy is about. That's what mutual aid societies are all about, which have been operating in America from day one, helping neighbors through difficult times, through voluntary means, not through the government, which is a faceless, nameless bureaucrats, either in Washington, the state capitol, or any place else. Let people help each other at the local level. And that's been sort of the paradigm, if you will, of U.S. social policy until the Great Depression, where people looked to Washington to solve their problems at the local level. And what's happened is that the welfare state has grown by leaps and bounds since the 1930s. And now people don't want to pay for it. And therefore, we have a $38 trillion debt and a $2 trillion deficit. So again, politicians have sold the American people a bill of goods, namely, we are going to take care of you and you don't have to pay us for it because we're going to borrow money to do so. That is fiscal irresponsibility. And I categorically reject it, no matter who's doing it, Democrat or Republican, because it's not sound finance.
I can't help but think that one of our forefathers, Thomas Paine, and his common sense philosophy, he's rolling over in his grave these days.
Oh, are they ever? I mean, even Thomas Jefferson talked about government spending and debt as really a bane of government. And then you had people in the 19th century talking about government spending is really a burden on the American people, no matter what it is, because everything that the government does, except national defense, can be handled by the private sector or the nonprofit sector. And I've been writing about this for decades, and people before me have been writing about this as well. We need a vibrant free market economy with a vibrant, robust nonprofit sector, and that would make the economy much better than it is today, and it would uplift people. And let me say something about the concept of equal opportunity, because this is not given enough discussion. Everyone has the same equal opportunity. By that I mean, Perry, everyone has 24 hours in a day, 7 days a week to improve themselves. And if you don't spend that time productively to either building a business or becoming a valuable employee, then you're missing out on what life is all about. And then if you have failure and you go into your shell or do things that are physically and mentally harmful, you're not going to have a productive life. And I learned this a long time ago when my parents stressed, go to school and get a career. And that's exactly what I did. I followed their advice when I was a little kid back in the 1950s, and it worked out pretty well for me. And here I am talking to you and other people on cable TV and radio about what it means to have a vibrant, productive life and a happy life. And so, again, by having people relying on the government, they become dependents. Adults become like their children. They become dependent on Big Brother in Washington. And that's something of the philosophy we've got to replace with what I'm doing, make Americans financially independent. If you go to mafiusa.com, that's where you can see where my philosophy is and what this movement is all about as we approach the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. We need a financial declaration of independence, and that's what we need to work toward.
You know, we work with a lot of nonprofit organizations here, and we honor them who do by far better work than government programs. And somehow it's $1 in and $10 out. It's one of those mysterious things that they just manage their resources so much better. They do it with heart and soul, and the results are so much higher.
Well, tomorrow I'm going to an event at the Neighborhood Health Clinic here in Naples, Florida. This was founded 26 years ago by a physician doctor and his wife. And they do not accept a penny of taxpayer dollars. It's all raised through fundraising. And so they do a magnificent job. They're expanding the facility to provide more services for individuals who don't have the means to get their own insurance. And topic for another day, we have too much medical insurance in our system. We'd be much better off with just catastrophic policies, but we can talk about that some other time. And these are the nonprofits that are doing great work, not getting a lot of credit by the politicians. I wish President Trump and people from RFK Jr., the Health and Human Service Secretary, come and visit the Neighborhood Health Clinic and see exactly what people are doing without government support, without government intervention, without relying on taxpayer dollars.
Yeah, you just do such a better job. One last question, Dr. Sabrin. So what's your outlook for 2026? Is it going to be as good as they're trying to project it to be?
It should be, because the Federal Reserve has been pumping money in, and when you pump money in, you seem to get greater economic activity. And I've called for, as you know, in my writings, in fact, I'm giving a presentation to my neighbors in 2 weeks, that I think we're going to have a crash in 2029, comparable to what we had, possibly comparable to what we had in 1929. And I'm going to lay it all out, what happened in the 1920s and how events in the 2020s are very similar. And so I'm going to advocate that people really start thinking about how to prepare themselves for what could be a very difficult economy and a very powerful downturn in the stock market.
All right. Check out Dr. Murray's books and his writings and his articles. A couple of places he mentioned here. First of all, murraysabrin.substack.com, mafiusa.com is another place you can go. And, of course, if you're a subscriber to the Wall Street Journal, look for his recent article there. You're a fascinating friend. Let's stay connected. And I really appreciate your passion and commission.
Thank you, Perry. And you have a happy new year and a healthy one. And hopefully the politicians will get some sound advice from us.
Look at that. There's my hat.
Great.
My black and gold hat. All right. Thank you, friend. Take care.
Take care.
Welcome to Fish Lake Resort, where adventure is everywhere, and everyone is your friend. The fishing is great. And the food is tasty. The RV sites are full hookup, and the cabins are cozy. It's always a good time at Fish Lake Resort. And the best part is, you can come visit any day of the year because we are open all year, 7 days a week. Visit fishlakeresort.net today to learn more and plan your visit.
Come fall in love with Northridge Senior Living, where contemporary, sunlit interiors meet old world elegance. Walk through our lovely hallways and enjoy the fun staff-led activities. Forge lasting friendships with other residents and our exceptional caregivers. Dine in style. Gather near the fireplace under breathtaking chandeliers. Our reasonably priced apartments are spacious with private balconies. Northridge is Christian-owned and operated, pet-friendly, and only 2 blocks from Asante Rogue Regional Medical Center. On-site, in-home care is available. We also offer senior adult daycare, where your loved one can spend the day with us and the evenings with you. Northridge Senior Living. Your home.
Finding that next great series to binge watch is fun, but your neck, shoulders, and body don't count that as me time. Hi, I'm Tamara Miller, owner of Organic Element Spa, and I invite you to put down the remote, get off the couch, and schedule yourself some real me or we time with your favorite service, like one of our many massages, couples massages, or facials. Your health, safety, and comfort are always top priority with us at Organic Element Spa. We can't wait to see you. Book your appointment today.
Okay, welcome back. And again, perfect timing for us to have back Nan Su with us today. He's a senior investigative reporter for Epoch Times. He has an eye and focus on China's politics and the government deception there. He himself was born and raised in China. And Nan Su came to the United States in 1989. He does have the website, which is epochtimes.com. There's a picture of the landing page. Very, very resourceful. Nan Su, good to see you again, friend. How are you?
Oh, thank you, Perry, for having me again on your program.
It's amazing. We value your time. Wow, where do we start? What's your take on what happened in Venezuela over the weekend?
Well, this is very important. If you look at the Trump national security strategy, which was published in November, it talked about Western Hemisphere. The page, the total report spanned about total 4 pages to talk about Western Hemisphere, while spending about 6 pages talking about Asia. So basically, it's to stabilize the Americans' backyard, American continent, and then so that we can focus on the Western Pacific to deter the threat of the CCP. So you can. The timing was published only 2 months ago. And then you see everything that's coming around. It's exactly following the strategy's entire plan. And while we have 2 aircraft carrier, which is located in the southern region around southern Japan, closely watching what's going on around Taiwan. We have 1 aircraft carrier in the Caribbean area. So you can see, it's pretty much all laid out over there already, and now it's the execution stage.
Should Colombia and Cuba be concerned?
Yes, I think that the overall, it's, you talk about the entire American continent. The infiltration from the CCP in the past quarter century is tremendous. I think that Venezuela, Colombia and Cuba, those are the small ones, but the important ones, which of course it will take a long time to solve, which was recognized by the strategy. It's Brazil. So I think this is the starting point of to stabilize and to take back the entire American continent as American backyard, to project American influence again in its own backyard, basically.
So, with this event in Venezuela, especially with its massive oil reserves, how impacting is this to China?
I do not think the oil part is going to impact a lot on China. China imported a lot of oils, probably less than 10%, probably 5-6% from Venezuela. But however, you look at the geographical location of Venezuela. It's on the west side of Colombia, and then it's on the northwest side of Brazil. Now that serve as a big warning to the nations on the American continent, that gave them a warning that if you go too close to the CCP, that's not American interest. That's not where American interest is. It's very important. China right now, China's Belt and Road Initiative is building a cross-continental railroad that's crossing entire American continent from Brazil to Peru, connecting Pacific Ocean and Atlantic Ocean. That's a lot of work there. And then, China, instead of doing what it promised to President Trump and Biden, buying the American farm products, they are buying from, South American countries. And those things are, it's a long-term goal, but short term, it's very important first to take care of these cartel government issues.
It's been no secret that the Maduro regime and the CCP pretty friendly. Now,
yes.
And Maduro's gone. Now what?
Well, I think it's important to work with the government, and in Venezuela, and give a good example to Colombia and Cuba that Americans willing to work with them, and if they put American interest first, and gradually help these countries gradually change. It's important to stabilize the situation and gradually moving to the point, help these countries to have an election long term, but short term, stability is number one, and give this country a chance. The new leaders, wherever their background is, gradually, change gear, change their direction, instead of working with the CCP, but choose to work with United States government.
Given your last statement, where we have 2 aircraft carriers there in the region of the China Sea, and China's ambition to take over Taiwan, does the action in Venezuela provide an opportunity, or does it create a caution for China?
I think it serves as a warning. Think about who is the biggest drug cartel. It's Beijing's government, right? All Venezuela, all these fentanyl materials are from China. I think that it gave them a warning, and China now it's not yet quite ready, to invade Taiwan. But however, things are quickly changing in the Western Pacific. Japan's newly elected Prime Minister Takaichi, on November 7th which is like about 2 months ago, she openly, clearly stated, if China trying to invade Taiwan, Japan is going to militarily intervene. And very strong, and now China has been putting pressure on her, and she has not changed, and she has enjoyed very high high supporting rate from Japanese society. At one point, more than 80%. Now it's still more than 70%. So she had overwhelmingly, he's overwhelmingly supported by the Japanese society and working with American government and trying to stabilize the Western Pacific. So if we can have a very strong support to our military, make sure our military men and women are better equipped, better trained, and fully ready, we may be able to deter the CCP's threat and defend the peace in the Western Pacific.
How effective is Japan's military?
Oh, they are. Well, they are very strong. They just need to spend more money. They already to start changing in December of 2022. They changed their constitution to raise their. They used to have a peace constitution after World War II. They could not spend more than 1%, but they changed that part in December of 2022. In 5 years, they're going to double it. So they're going to double that military spending by 2027. But now, with newly elect Prime Minister Takaichi, they're talking about they're going to spend more, on top of that, the effort. So they are doing a lot of work, and they are even talking about changing their constitution so that American can, U.S. military can put the nukes in the territory of Japan.
All right, let me take a quick break here. I got some more questions. Let me say to our viewers and listeners, check out Nan Su's website, which is theepochtimes.com. There's a picture of the landing page, a lot of information there, and a great organization and a great resource. Check it out, epochtimes.com. We'll be right back.
Jesus is the answer for the world today. Above him there's no other, 'cause Jesus is the way. Jesus is the answer for the world today. Above him there's no other, 'cause Jesus is the way. Sing along.
I was intrigued by the international news reporting, and then there were also so many stories of hope and encouragement.
When you meet the needs of others, he meets your needs.
One day I came across a video through YouTube of CBN. Terry said, "The Lord's healing you."
I want to see that program every day. It lifts me up. It gives me hope.
Watch the 700 Club weekdays at 11 on the Dove TV.
A ministry moment on the Dove.
Jesus says this in John 15, verses 8 and 16. You bring glory to my Father. You want to bring glory to Father? Here's how you do it. You bring glory to my Father, and you show you're my disciples. You want to prove you're really a follower of Christ? You show you're my disciples by bearing much fruit. Notice that word, much fruit. God wants a big family. He says, I chose you and I've called you to bear fruit that will last. Now, I want you to notice from that verse, Jesus says, God expects me and he expects you and he expects this church to bear much fruit. So that's what we're going to believe God for. Now, even more important is that God promises and God guarantees your fruitfulness in life if you follow certain instructions.
A ministry moment on the Dove.
Hi, welcome back. And again, an honor and perfect timing to have back with us today. Nan Su is the senior investigative reporter there for Epoch Times. Nancy, I was trying to figure out how to ask this question during the break. Is it fair to say that China is the #1 supplier of fentanyl?
Yes.
Okay, so with that in mind, with the removal of Maduro from Venezuela, how much of that will be an interruption for a pipeline into the United States?
I think it's tremendous, but also, it's not going to totally stop if we just stop right here. So basically, there are still other drug cartel running governments in the South American continent, like Colombia, right? So it's very important to continuously working towards to solve all these problems, to stabilize the backyard of the United States, so that we can be strong again, and we can, once we get strong, we can put our focus on the Western Pacific to defend the peace.
How weak is the China economy these days?
China's economy peaked in 2023, and ever since then, it's been falling. It's like a free fall, falling like stone, basically. It's tremendous. It's tremendously in a very weak position. So, timing wise, it's a good timing for our president to really solve all these problems in the American continent. They wouldn't have. They probably will say, something to protest, but they wouldn't be able to do anything. But however, let's just realize that we are living the most dangerous time window that we can have war in the Western Pacific that breaks out in any minute. Secretary of War Hexas said the war in the Western Pacific is imminent. The problem, the issue here is if China, at the time China's economy is collapsing, that there's tremendous amount of social unrest taking place in China. We can see that that's what's happening right now in China. The regime could very well, using the attacking of Taiwan as the way to switch its internal conflict, internal tension to outside. So that's why it's very important to keep our eyes on Taiwan. The Chinese military just had the second largest military drill 2 days, December 30 and 31st. It was interesting. They made an announcement of that second largest military drill. At the same time, President Trump is meeting Zelensky in Mar-a-Lago. So they choose that exact same timing. They make an announcement of the military drill, and then they started right away. And they during that the 2-day military drill, they shoot a few scores of long-range rockets to the northeast side of Taiwan, as well as the southwest side of Taiwan. They have a total 130 military airplanes approaching Taiwan, and 90 of them across the median line of Taiwan Strait, which is considered the de facto borderline between China and Taiwan. They have a total 13 warships plus another 11 Coast Guard ship. China's Coast Guard ship are the retired naval warships. So they have a 13 warship plus 11 Coast Guard warship across the median line of Taiwan Strait. And then they conducted the military drill in all 5 different regions around Taiwan. It's basically, it's a drill to have Taiwan totally blockade. And that's what they are doing. Total 941 commercial air flights have to reschedule as the result of that 2-day military drill.
I say this respectfully, but when we saw Russia go into Ukraine, we were shocked about how unsophisticated its military was. Setting nukes aside, don't get me wrong, anybody that has nukes has to be taken seriously. But their ground wars seem to be pretty unsophisticated and pretty weak. Is that the same thing in China?
Oh, China's military is considered a lot bigger than Russia. China right now have about close to 400 warships, while U.S. Navy only 292. Of course, it doesn't mean that their firepower, their capability, it's stronger than U.S. military. But however, it's close to the coastal line of China, so they have a lot of advantage because of the geographical locations, where Taiwan is close by to China. Now, Chinese military, I would say, it's a lot less prepared than U.S. military because we are in war because somewhere there was a war taking place around the world all the time. And in China, their military have not been in war for decades, many decades. I can't remember. The last war I remember probably is 1979 war with Vietnam. It's a limited scale war in 1979. After that, they have not been in any war. So that's like 35 years.
Yeah.
So basically, but however, it really already became a routine for the Chinese military to take place around Taiwan and in South China Sea.
Is China still doing a lot of business with Iran?
Well, recently, the recent news is after the protest spread in Iran, we see, several military planes that carry. We don't know what it carries. Those things, what those airplanes carry, that from Russia and China that went to Tehran. We don't know what kind of a material. Probably some of the weapons and some of the other things necessary to help Iran. So China basically continuously purchase oil, a lot of oil from Iran. Now that's basically how Iran's its economy was supported by China.
This is so interesting. Well, you think the overall fallout of Maduro being taken under custody is a game changer as far as the cartels are concerned?
As far as the cartel is concerned, yes, it's a game changer. And also, overall geopolitical situation around the world, it's also a big change. Americans really coming back and projected, to show this is our interest. This is the Monroe strategy, right? If you read 2025 Trump national security strategy, talking about the Western Hemisphere, which is basically the entire American continent. And after, it's important if you look at the geopolitical location, the situation of Venezuela now. Keep in mind when Trump, went back to White House, what's the first thing he did? Panama Canal. But it's because we have to support our ally in Europe. At the same time, we have to support our ally in Western Pacific, and the only connection, only channel that make the United States military could be easily, coming back and forth between the two fronts. It's Panama Canal. But however, if you look at the Panama Canal, from the Pacific Ocean goes through Panama Canal, first thing it's, you are in the Caribbean Sea, and all these countries, Venezuela, and all these countries that we just mentioned, they are around the Caribbean Sea. And U.S. military is reopened its military base in the Puerto Rico, which is across the Caribbean Sea from Venezuela. And so all these things you can see, they are consistent towards one direction. We are taking back our influence in the American continents and Latin American countries.
Do you think we end up taking back the Panama Canal, or we have positioned them to where they have to be by far more workable and reasonable in their charges?
Yes, it's the things change has been changing there dramatically, and then I think we are in a much better position than last year right now to protect American interests.
Wow. Okay. And then I guess, lastly, what is China's relationship with Russia these days?
Well, China basically continuously to be the strongest support of Russia, and we can, it was just a few months ago. China's foreign minister went to Europe. Foreign Minister Wang Yi, he openly, just say to the European country leaders that China doesn't want the Ukraine war to stop, because that's what he said. He said that if the Ukraine war stopped, then the Americans will be able to fully focus on Western Pacific to put pressure on China. So you can see that that's why China and Russia, they are coming together. Just what I mentioned, December 30 and December 31st, when China had the second largest military drill around Taiwan, Russia, it's simultaneously, Russia's Navy is having its own military drill, and including naval and Air Force drill, on the northern side of Japan, putting pressure on Japan. So that's very important for us to notice.
Are you surprised Russia hasn't finished the war in Ukraine? Don't get me wrong, I'm not for that. I'm just surprised that they didn't do it.
Yeah, it's true. It's to my surprise. Yes. Russia used to have a very strong image for their military, but they've been in Ukraine for now almost 4 years. They're still moving. They make a joke. They say it's so slow. The Russia's military moving. It's just like I don't know the word to describe it, but it's just it's to the surprise of the entire war. So I think, but however, to be ready in the Western Pacific, it's very important.
Okay, Nancy, thank you for your time. We value it greatly. Look forward to more visits. Let me say to our viewers and listeners, check out his website, theepochtimes.com. There's a picture of the landing page there. Very, very resourceful, and they're on top of all the great stories out there. So, Nancy, thank you, friend. Let's stay connected.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
He's got the whole world in his hands, and he knows the plans for us. Above and beyond we could ask or imagine, his grace is more than enough. It's in his hands, it's in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. Come on, Steve.
Applegate River Golf and RV Resort, a pristine 9-hole course alongside the Applegate River. Their clubhouse offers a golf simulator experience. The RV Resort is adjacent to the golf course with convenient pull-through parking. Applegate River Golf and RV Resort. Information at applegaterv.com.
I'm Susanna, and I contracted KA Designs to do custom cabinets throughout my house. We chose a really beautiful maple wood that really creates like a nice airy space.